874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co.
UPI reports Equifax's reported hacking of consumers' personal information was more widespread than originally disclosed, according to new documents submitted to a U.S. Senate committee. The credit reporting agency said cyber thieves accessed tax identification numbers, email addresses, and driver's license information of 145.5 million customers, stretching beyond the scope the company originally revealed, according to documents received by the Senate Banking Committee. The Wall Street Journal and CNN reviewed the documents sent to the Senate. In September, Equifax said it had been breached, compromising personal information belonging to 145.5 million customers, including names, social security numbers, dates of birth, and addresses from May through July 2017. Now, documents show that the license date and issue date might also have been accessed. Equifax said an insignificant number of email addresses were affected, and they are commonly searchable in public domains. Equifax spokeswoman Meredith Griffanti told CNN Money the original disclosure was not meant to represent the full list of potentially exposed information. With the data, criminals can open bank accounts and lines of credit, including a credit card or a mortgage. Lauren Saunders, Associate Director at the National Consumer Law Center, said the more information scammers have about you, the easier it is for them to impersonate you, and the easier it is for them to get by the protocols that banks and others use to make sure they are dealing with the right individual. Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian are the top 3 credit reporting agencies. They gather information on individuals from banks, credit card companies, retailers, and public records to create credit reports, which are then used by lenders to determine the risk of a potential borrower. Equifax has reportedly sent email notices to consumers affected by the breach.
Are you looking for a cryptocurrency that has a focus on users and usability? Then look into Zencash. Zencash has the ability to use both transparent and shielded transactions, with shielded transactions using zero-knowledge proofs. Zencash features global governance with inclusive decision-making, reliable funding for continuous improvements, and documentation and wallets in many languages that are available for Linux, Mac, Windows, and Android devices. Learn more at zensystem.io. That's zensystem.io.
Reuters reports a tourist helicopter crashed in the Grand Canyon on Saturday, killing 3 people and injuring 4 others, according to Arizona media and a federal aviation spokesman. The helicopter was on a tour of the canyon, which is more than a mile deep and one of the top U.S. tourist destinations, when it went down, according to a dispatcher for the local Department of Emergency Services. He said 3 people were killed and 4 had unknown injuries, and that authorities were possibly looking for 1 or 2 more people. Alan Kinitzer, spokesman for the Federal Aviation Administration, said via email the helicopter, a Eurocopter EC-130 from Airbus, crashed under unknown circumstances in the Grand Canyon and suffered substantial damage. The FAA and NTSB will conduct investigations. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
An alarming UN report on magical realism released this week warns of increased incidences of women's tears flooding the entire world. A UN committee linked the catastrophic phenomena to matronly widows, commonly named Tita and Esmeralda, who wept for up to 90 days on end about their estranged lovers.
Just consider how detrimental it is to a nation's workforces to have thousands of its plantation overseers simply disappear one night into the midsummer fog, only to return decades later without having aged a single day. Put simply, if such phenomena are not immediately halted, the effects on the international community will be catastrophic.
The nation's limo drivers spent a magical prom night playing scratch-off tickets in the parking lot this week. According to sources, chauffeurs nationwide began their enchanting evening by cramming swank magazines into their glove compartments before dropping off their students at a school gym, working through a stunning assortment of lotto cards, and dining upon a wide range of microwave-heated taquitos from a nearby 7-Eleven.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live, and you can join us right here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We've got Skype as well. The Skype username is LRN.FM. With you in the studio here tonight, you've got Ian,
Johnny Ray,
and Daryl.
As always, lots in the news to discuss, which we're happy to do that with you about whatever you want to talk about. We've got Skype username LRN.FM. You can join us on Discord as well. In the Discord on-air call-in line room at discord.lrn.fm, and it is the live Sunday edition. So let's see, where to start here tonight. I know that you wanted to talk about the UBI. What is the UBI?
Well, UBI stands for Universal Basic Income. And we've actually had a somewhat frequent caller that calls in to advocate this sort of thing. It's to where
Gary Johnson.
What's that?
Gary Johnson. He loves the UBI, doesn't he, Mr. Libertarian?
Does he? I don't know.
I
it
don't
wouldn't surprise
know.
me.
I also don't think he regularly or semi-regularly calls this radio program.
No, but it wouldn't surprise me if he liked the idea of the UBI. He's the most unlibertarian person who's ever run. Well, I don't know. Maybe Bob Barr. I don't know. He's one of the worst candidates they've ever put forward, the Libertarian Party.
Okay, candidates that actually got the nomination. I was going to counter with Derek Michael Reed.
Oh no, he was he was one of the ones running for the nomination and didn't even come anywhere close. But that guy was ridiculous.
He's the guy that said that he wanted to bring back public executions so that quote unquote 8-year-olds would be forced to watch their legs twitch and be scared straight.
Wow. All right. So
UBI, Universal Basic Income. It's the concept that every man, woman, and child in a geographic area would be given money just for existing in that geographic area. Now, Stockton, California...
Basically, straight up welfare for everybody.
Basically, yes. Yeah. Stockton, California has some kind of program, headline from Time magazine, which I don't know if they're actually a magazine anymore, but from the website, headline is, "This U.S. city will give its poorest people $500 a month, no strings attached." But yet what pops up in the actual browser at the top in the title bar is, "This mayor wants universal basic income." Mm-hmm. So as you can tell from the two titles that they have on their website, they're saying different things.
All right.
One says universal basic income. The other says giving the poorest people $500 a month, which is not necessarily the same as universal basic income.
Because universal basic
UBI
income
is everyone.
Right. It would include rich people, too.
Yes. The article begins. The mayor of Stockton, California wants to provide a universal basic income for the city's poorest residents. Starting this year, an experimental program called the Stockton Economic Empowerment Demonstration, or SEED program, will pay $500 a month to a few hundred of the city's low-income residents. No strings attached.
Sweet. That's a lot of crack that you can buy with $500 a month. Or some meth.
You can still argue that it's universal.
A lot of alcohol.
You could argue that it's universal by simply saying that anybody who makes more than $500 a month has the income and doesn't need to get it from the city.
Well, it's a stretch, but okay. Universal among poor people is what you're saying?
I mean that if you get it, that you exempt yourself out and you're still part of the universe. It's just you're not getting any help to be there.
Let's actually continue with the article before you jump to a conclusion about who is or is not eligible.
Give me the name of the program again, though.
The SEED program, the Stockton Economic Empowerment Demonstration.
That's what I was laughing about. Because,
SEED.
Yeah, we've been reading economics in one lesson here, and we've actually got another chapter or portion of a chapter to get to.
Yeah, so I'm kind of glad that we waited on this until the night that we have been covering the economics in one lesson.
Yeah, so this Stockton Economic Empowerment thing.
Yes.
Again, just because you name something economic empowerment doesn't actually mean that's what's going to happen. I mean, this is really for the benefit of the politicians to make people think they're doing something for these people, but ultimately all they're doing is, if they were to do it amongst everybody,
right,
all they would really end up doing is just driving prices of things up.
So continuing on, Time says the idea behind UBI is to provide a degree of economic security for the most vulnerable in a community. So just a degree of security, not actual security, just a degree of it.
Okay.
The goal is to counteract the destabilizing forces of globalization and technological innovation that have led to job loss and wage stagnation for countless workers. A lot of big names in Silicon Valley support UBI. Mark Zuckerberg, for instance, advocated for the concept in his commencement speech at Harvard.
He's going to commit millions of dollars to this project, right? He's just going to pour, since he really is supporting of it, he's going to pour a bunch of money.
Let me continue. Another Facebook executive who supports providing people with free money and no restrictions is Chris Hughes, who personally donated $1 million to the Economic Security Project, a program he co-chairs, which will provide funding for Stockton's program to get off the ground this year.
Now, if that's what people want to do, then I say good luck. You should be able to donate to a bad charitable idea. Now, I mean, there's some charities that are effective, and there's other charities that aren't. And I don't believe that even if this were to not be a government program, and it is, but even if there were some sort of private UBI program that only a bunch of economically ignorant rich people were donating to, I think they should be free to make that choice, but I still don't think you're actually helping people by giving them money with no strings attached. I mean, to me, the reason why poor people in a lot of cases are poor because they've been making bad choices in their life. They may feel distraught over having a bad life, and they want to, use a bunch of money on drugs or whatever. But regardless of their reasons, they're making choices that are not going to help them get wealthy. And if you just hand a poor person who is terrible with their money a bunch of money, then they're going to squander it.
But that will just encourage them to become artists and writers and video game creators and
It'll
coders.
give them the degree of security in that they feel as though secure because they know where their next bottle of Jack Daniels is going to come from. They feel secure about that.
Right. So that encourages them to then become creative and write the best novel ever, right?
Well,
no, you when you're going down the wrong road, you don't change until you hit the bottom, until you're flat on your back and you've got nowhere else to go. And if somebody gives you $500 instead, then you can coast a little bit longer and keep living the same way you've been.
That's exactly what you'll do.
The article continues, it's no accident that much of the support for UBI comes from Silicon Valley, where the potential for mass unemployment is starker than most other places in the country. Major companies there are in neck-to-neck competition to create labor-saving technologies, such as self-driving cars that will inevitably replace greater numbers of humans with automation and robots. Now, as an aside, did either one of you see the headline that apparently there was an automated truck that drove one of these self-driving tractor-trailer things that drove from California to Florida recently?
I didn't see it.
Was it with a person behind the wheel? One of those?
I don't know. I only saw the headline. Yeah. I didn't read the article. I was just asking if either of you saw the headline. I'll try to pull that up.
That's interesting, though.
Also in that vein, I was thinking the other day, if those ever become, a thing, a real thing, ubiquitous and so forth, they need to put sensors on them to detect 8-year-old boys' arms out the windows of their own cars doing the motion.
So that they can do the honk.
Doing the honk motion, the pull your horn motion. That was always fun to do that when they drove by as a young person.
And I know it must be really fun for the truck drivers, too. I bet they love that.
I bet. I would. I mean, you get a reaction, right?
Kids they're so adorable.
Stockton is a town already facing problems. The city has been plagued by a lack of job opportunities with low wages and high housing prices as Silicon Valley exploded around it.
More money for the poor people to prevent them from going out and having to get a job. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE like Frida. Maybe you want to call in to back up this terrible idea of universal basic income. We'll continue here in moments on the live Sunday edition of Free Talk Live.
She's such a beautiful little puppy. I mean, we walk around the block, and neighbors always say, her hair is so beautiful.
Healthy and shiny and glossy.
DINOVITE.com. Fatty acids, omega-3s, and omega-6s are great for healthy skin and soft, shiny coats.
I would really recommend people starting their puppies on Dinovite before they get into what I would call the misery index. Bad skin, bad ears, bad breath.
Because if they're getting all their vitamins, micronutrients, microbials from the beginning, then you're not going to run into the problems associated with the allergies,
grass, pollen, dust, dirt, fleas, ticks, you name it,
and the itching and shedding down the road.
Our vitamins and enzymes replace the nutrients cooked out of most commercial dog foods.
Dynavite for life.
This is Ed Lukasevic.
And Cindy Lukasevic.
Inviting you and your pets to Dynavite.
859-428-1000.
DINOVITE.com.
I got my Blink home security system delivered right to my door. I downloaded the app and it walked me right through the easy setup. Even with my complicated router system, I was done in like 10 minutes. Now it notifies me whenever something moves in front of the wireless cameras, or I can just check it whenever I want right from my phone. And I got you a deal. Get 3 Blink cams for what the other guys charge you for 1, plus an extra 10% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. 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 I've said it many times on air, and I'll say it here. The New Hampshire Liberty Alliance is one of the most important organizations for freedom in the world. New Hampshire is ground zero for freedom, and the NHLA is the best organization at promoting effective liberty activism. This ad is sponsored by Free Talk Live, and I, Mark Edge, am a lifetime member because I believe in the NHLA. Please check them out at nhliberty.org. Not everyone can move right now, but you can support the cause. Donate top cryptocurrencies or old-fashioned U.S. dollars, nhliberty.org. Visit their website and see what they're all about, nhliberty.org.
A congressman recently revealed that legislation totaling 2,900 pages and involving more than $1 trillion was available to members of Congress for less than 48 hours to study and consider. That's over 60 pages of legislation per hour. Do you think anyone read the entire bill? I'm Jim Babka with DownsizeDC.org. Consider a proposal buried in a 3,200-page, $388 billion bill, which would have empowered committee chairmen or their agents to examine Americans' tax returns. When this horrible provision came to light, no one claimed to know how it got into the bill. One congressman questioned said, "I didn't write it, I didn't approve it, I wasn't even consulted." If your attorney represented you this way, he might be disbarred. But this is how Congress represents you every day. That's why DownsizeDC.org has created the Read the Bills Act. You can force Congress to read their bills before they pass them at DownsizeDC.org.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that 1/10 of a calorie it takes to click on something. facebook.freetalklive.com.
In Survivor Max 2, School Bites, Max must scavenge through a wasteland swarming with the undead. Desperate to find the medicine he needs, he discovers a community of survivors at his former school. Has he finally found the safe haven he's been looking for, or will he discover that school bites? Look for Survivor Max on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, and read Chapter 1 at survivormax.com.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, and you can take control of the airwaves here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. Like freedom, it's 855-450-3733. We've got Skype as well. Skype username is LRN.FM. And joining you in the studio tonight, you've got Ian,
Johnny Ray,
and Daryl.
Of course, you can bring up whatever you want. We've also got our Discord on-air call-in line. You can join there over at discord.lrn.fm. And if you want to get information about Bitcoin, then you really ought to go over to Bitcoin.com. Great place to go and get started and get the basics on the world of cryptocurrency. If you're not brand new, then you'll also find useful resources over at Bitcoin.com, like the news site, which has updates daily. Go to news.bitcoin.com to find that. That's, once again, news.bitcoin.com www.bitcoin.com. As we continue here, we're going to go into your calls and thoughts more about the universal basic income idea, a terrible one, which they're now experimenting with in Stockton, California. But first, we go to Duke. He is in South New Jersey, listening to WPG. Hello, Duke.
Hey, how you guys doing? Great program.
Thanks.
I don't know how they can fund a program like that when the state's really busted. They can't even manage their own money.
Good point.
There's a lot of pseudo-intellectual unicorn jockeys there, and I think they need to take a minute and get off the horse and put their feet firmly on the ground in reality.
But how can they do that? Well, I mean, they have access to other people's money. I mean, that is just not reality. That is a total fantasy land where they get to just spend money that's not theirs.
Well, it's kind of like what the government does. They spend everybody else's money, and we're $20 trillion in debt, but nobody ever talks about that.
Well, that's what we're talking about. This is the government. I mean, we're talking about the government of Stockton, California.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, that's state government. I'm talking about federal, but
it'd be local.
Okay.
This would be local government in this case. Not. I don't believe the state of California is involved in this.
Yeah, I think like people like Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer and all these rich actors that are against the country, I think they should fund the program. They should give like 20% out of their take for the year and give it to the poor people, like you guys said, so they can buy liquor and maybe they can get weed. They should send it to Colorado. I mean, just think how happy those people would be.
Well, I mean, they're already getting plenty of liquor and weed, but I do agree with you that people that support universal basic income should be the ones that are funding the universal basic income. Now, I'm not opposed to helping people who need help, but I don't think that just giving people a handout without any kind of strings attached to it, any kind of accountability whatsoever attached to it, is a good idea. And it's especially a bad idea when it's done by the government, because then, you don't even have any accountability for the bureaucrats running the program, or virtually. I mean, so basically there's no accountability for anybody here.
No, there isn't. What about giving the $500 to people that are on disability that live on a fixed income?
I'm sure they'll give them that too. I mean, they're just going to hand it out to
probably people that are going to qualify.
Yeah, for sure. Duke, anything else you want to share tonight?
No, I've been listening to your show, and you guys are really, really good, and I really appreciate the way you guys conduct yourself on the radio.
Well, thanks. If you like Free Talk Live, I'd recommend you pick up the phone during the week, call the program director at the radio station that you're listening to. I think you're listening to WPG there in Atlantic City, and just tell them thanks. Tell them thanks for airing Free Talk Live.
Yeah, absolutely. Have a great night.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Duke. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE like freedom, because a lot of our stations that carry us, and we've got over 175 great radio stations across the country from coast to coast that air Free Talk Live at various different times throughout the week, but most of them aren't carrying 7 nights per week. So if you're getting Saturday or Sunday or just weeknights or whatever, if you're listening tonight, you're getting Sunday. But if you're just getting one day or another, not the whole 7 days, then when you compliment the program director for airing Free Talk Live, you could ask nicely to hear more of Free Talk Live. And that's always nice for a program director to actually get a compliment, because a lot of the time when they pick up the phone, if it's a listener that has something to say, it's almost always, I don't like what I heard on that morning show, or, whatever.
Right. Generally, people only call to complain.
Yeah. So you saying something nice will be conspicuous. It'll stand out. And that might make a difference. Might make it so that more people or more shows of ours will get carried on that station. Maybe not the next day, but a few months down the road, those things can happen. And so that's kind of what we do, Daryl, is we contact radio stations during the week, during business hours, and we pitch Free Talk Live to them. And that also includes kind of following up with our existing stations that take the show and making sure they're doing all right. And so that's kind of one of the things that we do. So it's always nice when, we talk to a program director and they say, oh, yeah, one of our listeners called up about your show. And, they appreciate that. Toll-free number tonight, if you want to call us on the radio, is 855-450-FREE like freedom. Let's go to Tom is in Utah. You're on Free Talk Live. Hello, Tom.
Hello.
Hi. Are there 2 people on this line?
It's Tom in Utah and Keith in Virginia. Hey, thanks for having us on last night. And I just wanted to give you a quick intro for Tom about gasinamerica.com. But he talked about the manufactured and mobile home defect design that's causing carbon monoxide poisoning. So
yeah, you did call about that last night. Was there something else that you wanted to share about that?
Yeah, the news headlines, the reason why I wanted them to call was some of the news headlines about the really bad flu. And he actually, with his additional background in the medical field, in pathology, both in hospitals and also veterinary sciences, he actually worked on that as well when this particular strain was around in, I think it was 1996. Go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, about 1997. So we're now just a generation away, the normal reemergence period of these viruses and bacteria. So I'm sitting
What are we
here
talking about exactly? You're talking about the flu?
Yes.
Okay.
The H3N2. Literally, I was really hated after I was asked by the director of the epidemiology at the Utah State Department of Health to testify before the finance committee of the Utah State Legislature. I had flagged Dr. Nichols of the pending flu problem that we would have, which would take out the babies and the more vulnerable elderly.
What are you saying here? Are you saying that the flu is some sort of manufactured crisis? I'm not real sure what you're getting at.
No. These viruses exist in nature, and they reemerge periodically depending upon the immune system of the population.
Right. Okay.
So it was exactly a generation ago that I was asked to speak to the Utah State Legislature, and of course I walked out of there, and my life turned to hell because I did not know I was offending the people who actually make money off of the product.
How were you offending people? I'm not real clear on what you're saying.
I'm also not clear on why you were asked to speak to the legislature.
Well, see, one of my associates down in a county where we have a large livestock production, he sent me a little article that the newspaper down there was complaining because they were having a high die-off of the turkey pullets and the chicks. And it listed on there that they'd identified H3N2, the veterinary medical people. Kind of like you're coming to a break.
Yeah, I'm not really sure where this is all going, but we'll give you a chance to explain it here in moments. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. I also have some concerns that there's it seems like you guys might be trying to promote a website or a book without buying advertising. This is Free Talk Live.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug-out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Hawaii was a wake-up call. Don't be caught without a disaster shelter. Atlas makes an all-disaster shelter that will protect your family from fallout, tornadoes, and hurricanes for only $99.99. That also includes the NBC air filtration system, solid steel construction with an airtight, bulletproof door. That's right, for $99.99 and up. Call 1-855-4BUNKER or go to iwantthatshelter.com. Atlas Survival Shelters, the world leader in fallout shelters.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it. And once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world. So I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here. And I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market. Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is Free Talk Live Sunday edition of the program. You can bring up whatever you want here. The toll-free number is 855-450, free like freedom, 855-450-3733. Liberty.menu is where you can go to get your business listed and get it in front of other libertarians. It is a liberty-oriented business and events and digital media directory. There's all kinds of things that you can list there, and listings are free over at liberty.menu. It's a really great tool. There's actually comments, so people can leave comments about your business there. There's a bit of a social networking aspect to it as well, but it's exclusively for individuals like you, maybe, who reject the initiation of force and those who agree to abide by the ethics of the non-aggression principle. You can put your voluntarist ideas into action at liberty.menu and use code FTL to get your special Free Talk Live badge. That's liberty.menu. As we continue here with so far a confusing call from Tom in Utah, but I wanted to, try to get through this, try to get something out of it. Tom, you called in tonight, and one of the things that's confusing is you've called twice now in the last 2 days, and I remember you did call at some point in the past, and you've got another gentleman on the line, which is extra confusing. Normally our rule is only one person on the line at any given time, so you have like a kind of like a handler who's on the line with you?
Well, if I can explain that, and thanks for raising that concern so we can clarify it. Tom was blinded by the second of 2 retaliatory attacks on him after speaking to about all the members of Congress and the Senate about this problem that we mentioned on the website that we gave out. That website contains the CDC and the Government Accounting Office, the GAO report that validated his findings.
And just so our listeners that don't know, you're talking about some sort of gassing issue with
carbon monoxide poisoning.
Yeah.
Hold on, I thought you were talking about the flu.
Well, now we're going back to explain.
And what I said is that is what we called about last. We talked about that last night. What prompted my
what they talked about last night, Daryl, was this gas issue.
I was seeing headlines. I'm sorry. I was seeing headlines again. A lot about the flu. Flu season still getting worse, causing 1 in 10 deaths. those are a couple of the sample headlines that if you just Google flu on news.google or whatever, you'll see.
Yeah,
all
I mean,
these
there's always
reports
alarmist
that are
headlines about the
continuing, and
flu. I don't know why anybody should really be so concerned about it. But
I understand that, but just
why
to
are
let
you mentioned that this that Tom
some of the
had been
background that
blinded? Hold on there. You mentioned that Tom had been blinded after an attack.
Yes.
So is that why you're on the phone with him? Is he can't dial a telephone?
Exactly. I three-way called to get him on.
I see.
And
I see.
I'm actually and so not only am I just assisting in that, but I'm advocating the work that he's doing. He's not getting paid for it.
And do you believe that he has been blinded on purpose, or that it was a random attack? That
yes,
somebody...
I do.
Well,
because
okay, let me explain that. I had actually identified the poisoning problem in the FEMA trailers. Come to find out, and I had been in her face twice in my trips to D.C., come to find out that the Clinton Foundation was trying to pawn those units off, already condemned by my work, onto the Haitians, onto the Native Americans, also onto the unsuspecting poor. And after I testified in the Senate and the House and in the White House, believe it or not, face-to-face with Obama twice with the Native Americans, I was then assaulted. They didn't leave their business card, so I don't know precisely who, but they did a very sophisticated attack on me, so they affected my sight.
How did they blind you? Was it an acid attack? I mean, what was it that they used?
No. Acid is a jack acid. I'm sorry. I'm an old pathologist. If I want to take you out, I'm going to do it in a way that there's no true evidence. That was done, we know that, done with a biological agent. They caught me while I was asleep. But anyway, that's neither here nor there.
So what you're saying? Well, no, it isn't neither here nor there. That's the most interesting part of the story so far. I mean, I'm sorry to hear that something happened to you. But are you saying that you woke up one day blind and that you believe that there was an attack that was brought against you while you were sleeping?
Yeah, I woke up with tachyarrhythmia. That's irregular, fast-beating heart, and within hours, my side and my right eye, where they applied the droplets while I was asleep, and you can do that.
You believe they did?
Listen. Orrin Hatch and Charles Grassley, they are aware of this. They said, "Tom, you're lucky they didn't take you out altogether." But they're not in the practice of doing that anymore.
Now, who do you believe that was behind this? I mean, do you think it was the manufacturers of the manufactured housing or the Clintons?
No, not the manufacturers. It's the people who regulate them.
Mm-hmm.
Have you looked at the website, by the way? If you can, look at it.
I've got all kinds of things that I need to do.
I know.
Search around on the internet for
that,
things like that. Now, look, I mean, I don't know if what you're saying is valid or not, but anybody's free to call in and make any claims that they want to here on Free Talk Live. I want to thank you for the call tonight. The toll-free number here is 855-450 free like freedom. What do you think? Do you think that that really happened the way he said it did, that somebody put some drops in his eyes in the middle of the night, and then the next day he had an irregular heartbeat leading to blindness? Or
I believe that he believes that happened.
Yeah, or was it just a coincidence that, you're getting older, something bad happens to your body, and you go blind? I mean, which one is more likely?
I don't know. Again, I will say I believe that he believes that happened.
Yeah, I could see myself going down that rabbit hole, though, with these FEMA trailers.
Yeah.
FEMA trailers.
And those really did have problems, and this guy may have been the guy who uncovered that.
And how is that connected to the flu? Or
I don't know.
It just happens to be the same guy?
It's the same guy.
Well, you guys didn't give him a chance to get to that.
No, I didn't want to.
But I could imagine that the provision of any kind of disaster relief is a real opportunity for somebody to cash in. And I could well imagine people throwing together these shoddy, ramshackle trailers
Cutting
and
corners.
making a mint off it.
Yep.
Sure.
Yeah, I can believe all that stuff, too. Let's continue here. You can bring up what you want. Matthew is on the line in Louisiana. And also, if you are just calling, to do a three-way call, then you don't need to do all the intro handling stuff. You could just call and let the guy talk for himself. That's the other weird thing about that that call. Anyway, Matthew, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead.
Yeah, that was a strange call.
Yeah. Let's see if you can do better.
But given what I heard, can I mention another national radio talk show without? what I heard on Tom Gresham's Gun Talk today, he had a guy from Gun Law US or something like that on. But this guy was talking about the problems with the NICS system, the National Instant Background Check System. And he also mentioned, as an aside, and the FBI, that agency which, happens to be spying on Americans, in spite of the reassurances that they weren't, using fictional material produced by, fictional erotic material produced by former British MI6 guys.
Hold on, this one slipped by me. The FBI's using erotic material to spy. I'm sorry, what happened?
The FBI was running child porn websites on the dark web, and
is that what he's talking about?
I'm guessing that's what he's talking about.
That's another FBI abuse.
Fictional erotic material would not be
nobody wants to talk.
Child pornography.
That would be the Trump dossier. The dossier about Trump doing the golden showers, bitches, prostitutes.
Right, which was supposedly fake
Russia.
news.
Right. Well, and they use that to obtain those FISA warrants, which then they use to spy on the Trump campaign, then transition, and then the early presidency. And according to Cheryl Atkinson, they've been doing this to a lot of other people. And Cheryl Atkinson is somebody I view as somewhat credible.
I don't know who that is,
nor do
I don't know what you're saying here. Hang on, Matthew. It's we're going to continue here, see if we can clear this one up, too. This is Free Talk Live.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dinovite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dinovite.
Dinovite is nutrition.
Pick up 2 bottles of LicoChops, get the 3rd bottle free.
New improved LicoChops with omega-3, omega-6, vitamin E.
And now, 6 extra direct-fed microbials.
Even better for the digestive tract and immune system.
Try LicoChops. Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dinovite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
Cryptocurrencies are successful because of good technology. The liberty-loving voluntarists who founded Zencash in 2017 took the best tech, like zero-knowledge anonymity and decentralized autonomous organizations, and are creating a secure platform for money, messages, and media that can be sent to anyone, anywhere in the world. Zencash is a cryptocurrency dedicated to peace, anonymity, and decentralization. Find out more at zencash.com. That's zencash.com.
With uncertain times in the United States, it's only prudent to consider storing precious metals in a safe place outside of our borders. At Miles Franklin Limited, we have done just that for you. Partnered with the most respected storage company in the industry, Miles Franklin Limited is proud to offer the only fully insured private safe deposit box system in North America, held in Vancouver and Toronto. Send us your previously purchased precious metals, or have one of our brokers help you purchase something new. Questions? Please call one of our experienced brokers at 866-485-4346. Solid foundational storage partnered with the most respected name in security. That's Miles Franklin Limited. Celebrating our 29th year in business without ever receiving a customer complaint. Call us at 866-485-4346. Again, that's 866-485-4346. Miles Franklin Limited, a name you can trust.
Are you a sneezer? If you're not, can you get close to one? I don't literally mean someone sneezing. Sneezer, as defined by marketing guru Seth Godin, is an opinion leader. When a sneezer mentions something, other people catch what Godin calls the idea virus. Seth Godin says some people are more likely to tell their friends about a great new idea. So identifying and courting sneezers is a key success factor for idea merchants. His book, Unleashing the Idea Virus, is the most downloaded ebook in history, and you can download the whole book free. That's how he's making his idea contagious. Click tips tricks, and other stuff to help you cut through the clutter at www.survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
Ross Ulbricht was convicted in early 2015 of running the infamous Silk Road Underground Market. The Silk Road was a gift to humanity and helped reduce the harms brought on by drug prohibition. For this good deed, Ross has been sentenced to life in prison with no possibility of parole. Now, an appeal is Ross's only chance, and he needs your support. Please visit freeross.org, where you can contribute via various methods, including Bitcoin. Visit freeross.org. That's freeross.org.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, the live Sunday edition of the program here. The toll-free number is 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We do have Skype. And Skype username LRN.FM. In the studio tonight, you've got Ian,
Johnny Ray,
and Daryl.
So we're going to continue here and also invite you over to freetalklive.com where you can get on our email list. We send out an email update usually about once a week to keep you in the loop with Free Talk Live. Just go to freetalklive.com. You'll find the email sign-up box right there in the middle of the page toward the top at, once again, freetalklive.com. We're going to continue with your calls and thoughts. We'll talk more about the universal basic income idea, terrible idea, coming up here in moments. But first, Matthew is on the line with us here in Louisiana, and you were trying to make some kind of point about the FBI and spying, and I'm not really sure what it was, so I wanted to make sure that you had a chance to try to get it out there. So go ahead. Matthew?
FBI always state that, no, they would never do anything like that. But they did. And then the people who defend the FBI said they would never use the NICS system, the National Instant Background Checks. Where the B went, I have no idea. System to create a gun registry. They're the same people, and they say they would never create a gun registry. Mm-hmm. Well, now I'm thinking to myself, and this guy brought that up on Tom's show, holy schmoly, they probably do have a gun registry.
Well, certainly the ATF does, right? Like they...
well, the ATF doesn't conduct the National Instant Background Check. That's the FBI.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, to me, one government agency having a registry of guns versus another government agency, I'm opposed to all of it. I mean, I don't think that the government needs to know where you have, what you have, anything about that. But, they love to have information about you. They love to create databases and, know about the things that you do and the things that you have. And the only way that that's ever going to stop is if the federal government goes away. I mean, until then, they're just going to keep becoming...
I don't know that we can get the federal government to go away, but certainly looking at the behavior of the FBI, I am totally with you on the point that definitely that agency, if it doesn't go away, needs some serious reform to bring it back in line.
That's the thing. You can't bring the government back in line. I mean, they have too much power. They have too much control, and there's just nobody who's going to go in there to change the deck, to do more than change around the deck chairs on the Titanic.
But just wave around the Constitution.
Hey, Matthew, thanks for the call tonight. I do appreciate the concern and you bringing it up. The toll-free number here is 855-450, free like freedom. I think that there are legitimate concerns in the FBI, the NSA, the, fill in the blank, whatever police agency, CIA, these agencies.
The fact that they exist
well, that's
is concerning.
Exactly. Well, now, of course, the excuse, Daryl, is, there's terrorism, there's violence, there's killers, we need to have the FBI.
Right, so you stop employing them by, with the FBI and the CIA and the U.S. Army and the Navy and the Marines and the Secret Service.
Yeah, exactly.
And the Border Patrol.
It's not going to get any better.
I don't think I've ever heard of a park ranger killing anybody.
I bet it's... Oh, sure, it's happened.
It probably has happened. I've just not heard about that.
I mean, there's a lot of park rangers out there, and I'm sure there's been some kind of incident.
I don't think anybody from the Postal Service has killed anybody in several years.
Well, what was there? Was that one time where they shot each other, right?
That was back in like the 80s and 90s.
Yeah. The only way that's ever going to change is if the federal government completely implodes and goes away. I mean, otherwise, all they're ever going to do is increase their size, increase their scope, increase their intrusiveness, increase the expense, and that's just what their incentives are.
But Ian, the Republicans control the U.S. House, the U.S. Senate, and the White House.
Again.
And they talk about small government.
Yeah, they do. Just like they talked about it when they were in control during the Bush administration and made the government bigger.
Yeah.
Just like they're going to do again now. I mean, I understand that you can point to some things that Donald Trump has done that are a little different, that, do ring of trying to roll back a few things here and there. The FCC regulations have been rolled back slightly, but we're just talking about a little nip and tuck difference here.
Right, the FCC still winds up having a bunch of regulations in place. They just rolled back one of them.
They've rolled back a handful. It's been more than one, but they've rolled back some of them, and good for them. But it's hard to get very excited about that when the total burden that is being brought upon the American people, I guarantee you, is not going to go down from one year to the next, even by the end of the Trump administration. Now, I mean, if I'm wrong about that, that's fine. Okay, somebody else gets elected, and it goes back in the other direction of bigger government. It's almost never going to take a step back, but if it does, there'll be another 10 steps taken forward towards more taxation.
Yeah.
For every one step that's taken backwards.
So should we jump back into this UBI article, or do we still have somebody on the phone?
Ricky is waiting on the line here in Pennsylvania. Hello, Ricky.
Yeah, thank you there, brother Ian. Good evening.
What's on your mind tonight?
It was brother Johnny Ray. How you doing tonight?
Good, thank you.
Are you drunk?
No, I'm not there, brother. Why do you think I'm drunk there, brother Darryl? Not that that'd be so horrible.
Because you're stumbling over your words?
It could have been
a cigarette, brother. Is that all right?
Okay, all right. Okay. Let's go. What do you got?
Well, I want to talk about lying. I swore mine to tell the truth. People lie very easily.
It does sound like he's slurring, doesn't he?
No, I'm not.
No,
I'm
okay.
not.
Okay.
Well, no, because, somebody called in oopsie daisy. Somebody had an oopsie daisy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and see, here's the thing. Now, the bad thing is 1 million plus, say, people probably on average, maybe.
Are you just really hoarse? Like your voice is cracking. Have you been shouting at a concert?
Smoking cigarettes.
Well,
that winds up, goofing with your throat.
I wanted him to answer the question. What, Ricky?
It's yelling at these people on the Skype, you see, because
You're yelling.
Here's the problem. Well, first of all, she lied to brother Chris, which I'm sure is obvious. I mean, you realize
You're talking about our caller, Oopsie Daisy, who called over the last couple of nights on Free Talk Live.
Right. And see, here's the thing. She's riding on Ricky from the Commonwealth.
You wish she was. You wish.
Well, here's the problem. See, she talks all this stuff, but see, she's a socialist and a communist sympathizer. The reason why? Yeah, because they can't own me in the group. But she even admits it because they made a
Now,
rule.
hold on a second. Let's talk about this for a moment. What is this group? You guys are having some sort of online chat with a large number of people on Skype?
Well, see how it happened. I've never been on them. See, Stephen got owned, like I said, and I got dumped on them, so I'm there. So I got to make my mark. See what happened? It's like you talk on there. I mean, there's a lot of people in the chat. But there's maybe 5 to 6 here on average.
What is this though? Is this like a group? Because I've seen a picture of this girl. She looks, somewhat attractive. I'm not sure if it's actually her, but Stefan had said that it was. Is it a bunch of men, lonely internet guys, like fawning over this one woman? Is that what the group's purpose is?
Yeah, somewhat. The problem with it is everybody's full of crap. You see, in all these groups, and they try to say things. See, as an example. Because they can't own Ricky from the Commonwealth. And there's these, they don't like you, so go, whatever. And they'll get all hot and bothered. And see, the answer is we'll just vote him out. See, here's Veruca, the new deputy. I don't know when they did this. See, but the answer
Veruca is Oopsie Daisy, right? Isn't that just a different name
that
she
Veruca
uses?
Salt.
Yeah.
I have more respect to give her actual name. Now, the fact of the matter is, see, they made a rule, you see, amongst themselves, you know, for any reason at all, so much for freedom of speech. Because, see, I have a problem with this because it's called freedom of speech. The communists.
You don't have freedom of speech in a private chat room.
No, but there's a couple of us. No, see, if they don't like what I got to say, or I'm saying something, they can't own me, and I bust on them too bad, they can just vote me out together for any reason. I have no say in it. That's communism. And she admits it.
I thought that was democracy.
Yeah, that would be democracy. That would be a way that one could run a private group.
By definition, democracy can be communist if 32% of the people can wind up imposing their will on 68%, and I'll explain how 32% instead of 50 plus 1, because generally you only have about half of the people show up to vote, so you get a majority of the minority that shows up to vote. You could wind up really having, like 5% impose their will on 95%.
But that doesn't have to do with communism. Communism would be the appropriation of people's energy and their product of their whatever it is they make or produce, and then giving it to other people in the group. So I suspect that's not what's going on.
Well, claiming ownership of if the voters of the municipality where we live decided that people named Ian can't live in this town, they basically then wind up claiming ownership over you and your house.
But that doesn't have anything to do with what we're talking about, Daryl. We're talking about a Skype chat where Ricky is bitching because some people don't like him.
Right. I'm just trying to figure out how he can, confuse communism and democracy.
Right.
Well, no, she confuses it.
Okay. Well, thank you for the call tonight, Ricky. I appreciate that. I got to say, though, Ricky's call, more interesting, even though it's about a pointless chat group, than the previous two calls before him. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. You can bring up what you want. Hour number 2 is on the way. I think we got more on the universal basic income and other things like economics in one lesson. It's Free Talk Live.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $9.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keenan, the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Sunday, February 11th, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.35 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,317 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $35, and the average price of Bitcoin is $8,423.
Antiwar.com reports in another move that underscores major diplomatic progress made on the Korean Peninsula, North Korea has extended a formal invitation to South Korean President Moon Jae-in to visit Pyongyang at the earliest date possible. This comes after a public handshake between Moon and North Korean delegation head Kim Yo-jong, the sister of Kim Jong-un. Moon did not immediately accept the offer, but suggested he was willing to have such talks under the right circumstances, while trying to use it as leverage to get North Korea to agree to direct talks with the United States. Though North Korea has expressed openness to talks with the U.S., with Russia as a mediator in recent months, U.S. opposition seems to have soured such efforts. Moon's efforts, likewise, come with the tacit assumption that the U.S. still is not going to be on board. Vice President Mike Pence is in South Korea with the rest of these officials for the Winter Olympics, but his visit has been overshadowed by the diplomacy going on. Pence, for his part, has mostly made news walking out of dinners and not shaking hands with people.
For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. And as a Bitcoin-preferred business, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co.
UPI reports Equifax's reported hacking of consumers' personal information was more widespread than originally disclosed, according to new documents submitted to a U.S. Senate committee. The credit reporting agency said cyber thieves accessed tax identification numbers, email addresses, and driver's license information of 145.5 million customers, stretching beyond the scope the company originally revealed, according to documents received by the Senate Banking Committee. The Wall Street Journal and CNN reviewed the documents sent to the Senate. In September, Equifax said it had been breached, compromising personal information belonging to 145.5 million customers, including names, social security numbers, dates of birth, and addresses from May through July 2017. Now, documents show that the license date and issue date might also have been accessed. Equifax said an insignificant number of email addresses were affected, and they are commonly searchable in public domains. Equifax spokeswoman Meredith Griffanti told CNN Money the original disclosure was not meant to represent the full list of potentially exposed information. With the data, criminals can open bank accounts and lines of credit, including a credit card or a mortgage. Lauren Saunders, Associate Director at the National Consumer Law Center, said the more information scammers have about you, the easier it is for them to impersonate you, and the easier it is for them to get by the protocols that banks and others use to make sure they are dealing with the right individual. Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian are the top 3 credit reporting agencies. They gather information on individuals from banks, credit card companies, retailers, and public records to create credit reports, which are then used by lenders to determine the risk of a potential borrower. Equifax has reportedly sent email notices to consumers affected by the breach.
Are you looking for a cryptocurrency that has a focus on users and usability? Then look into Zencash. Zencash has the ability to use both transparent and shielded transactions, with shielded transactions using zero-knowledge proofs. Zencash features global governance with inclusive decision-making, reliable funding for continuous improvements, and documentation and wallets in many languages that are available for Linux, Mac, Windows, and Android devices. Learn more at zensystem.io. That's zensystem.io.
Reuters reports a tourist helicopter crashed in the Grand Canyon on Saturday, killing 3 people and injuring 4 others, according to Arizona media and a federal aviation spokesman. The helicopter was on a tour of the canyon, which is more than a mile deep and one of the top U.S. tourist destinations, when it went down, according to a dispatcher for the local Department of Emergency Services. He said 3 people were killed and 4 had unknown injuries, and that authorities were possibly looking for 1 or 2 more people. Alan Kinitzer, spokesman for the Federal Aviation Administration, said via email the helicopter, a Eurocopter EC-130 from Airbus, crashed under unknown circumstances in the Grand Canyon and suffered substantial damage. The FAA and NTSB will conduct investigations. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
With each successive bite failing to relieve his anxieties, increasingly worried man Dylan Hawks told reporters today that he has yet to come across any trace of guacamole in his burrito, despite having specifically requested it when ordering.
No, there definitely wasn't any guac there. Cheese, beans, chorizo. Oh man, I hope they didn't forget.
Hawks has continued to maintain hope that there may still be an undiscovered sliver of avocado somewhere in his tortilla. However, with his fears for the meal mounting, Hawks has reportedly considered asking the cashier for a refund at various points while eating the burrito.
The thing is, if you had a burrito and it was missing cheese, you might not notice it because there's sour cream, but guacamole is completely different. I just don't know how I wouldn't have tasted it by now. Christ. I'm almost done with this now.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
Free Talk Live. You can join us here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We've got Skype as well. You can Skype in here at Skype username LRN.FM or call us on the on-air call-in line over on Discord at discord.lrn.fm. Ian, Johnny Ray, and Daryl in the studio here tonight. Of course, we'll take your calls about whatever you want, for better or for worse, because that's just what we do. So, Daryl, in the first hour of the show, the very beginning of the program tonight, you shared a story from Stockton, California.
Yes.
Where a mayor there is launching a program of universal basic income for the poorest, apparently, of residents.
Yes, and again,
which isn't really universal basic income, but
correct.
Either way, the idea of universal basic income is to essentially hand a welfare check out to absolutely everybody in a given area. The idea that some people want to see is a nationwide program of such concept.
Right.
But
so
this is just Stockton, California.
Right. Let me back up a little bit in this article from Time, where they mention about Stockton, which is near the Silicon Valley. And apparently a lot of people that work in Silicon Valley are supporters of UBI because
you don't have to be good at economics to be smart with technology.
Well, that's not what Time says is the reason
that, but that's
they
the
support
reality.
it. Says here that the people working in Silicon Valley, that's where, like robots and computers are made, they see the potential for mass unemployment in places, where you wind up having computers or robots or self-driving cars take over people's jobs.
That's the claim, is that
correct?
When automation comes in, and it already has in some industries, some people are going to lose their jobs, and the belief is that they just won't be able to get another job.
Right, and let's go back about 120 years-ish when this guy in somewhere in Michigan, I forget exactly what city it was, invented the assembly line.
Mm-hmm.
Henry Ford, which wound up making it a lot more efficient to mass produce automobiles.
Right.
Nobody said, the assembly line's going to put everybody out of a job.
How do you know they didn't say that?
They did say that the automobile would put all kinds of people out of jobs because it's putting the horse and buggy.
You don't think anybody said the assembly line's going to put people out of jobs? That must have been an argument back
Somebody
then.
may have said that,
Yeah.
but it's not something that has survived throughout history books.
Well, I mean, just because you can't go and pick up a newspaper easily from 1910 or whatever the heck that was.
Reading economic books and history books, you do see the arguments that the automobile was going to put the horse and buggy people out of business. It was going to put the carriage drivers out of business.
And it pretty much did.
For the most part, but people adapt. When you wound up being able to push the button on the elevator yourself,
the elevator guy is
it
out of
wound
business.
up putting the elevator guy out of business.
Yep, that's true.
There's the famous candle makers petition by Frederick Bastiat, one of the most brilliant pieces of satire throughout all of human history.
So we can come up with examples like you're doing here and saying, hey, look, we made it through these fears, the fears of mass job loss by people in different industries when their industry was replaced by something better. People do adapt. They, if your skill that you had isn't really worth much anymore in the marketplace, then you need to get a new skill. You can go out there and train and learn things.
Flipping burgers, not exactly a skill. Robots are much better at doing that.
There's probably some people who are pretty skilled at flipping burgers, but all that said, it's a fairly easy entry-level kind of position.
There are people that are skilled at cooking.
Yeah.
the guy flipping burgers at McDonald's, not a skilled cook for the most part.
I see what you're saying. All I'm saying
Whatever.
is,
Okay, Mr. Elitist.
Yeah,
flipping burgers is cooking, Daryl.
Yeah, I think some people are better at flipping burgers than others. I bet you can find somebody who can flip, 100 burgers a minute versus somebody who can flip 10. So, I mean, skill is involved in those.
I'm just saying, you're not going to find a gourmet chef working at McDonald's.
Well, unless there's not a lot of jobs for gourmet chefs in the area, and he needs to do some work. But anyway, back to the original point.
Yeah. So it says here that Stockton is a town already facing these problems. That about the automation replacing all of the workers.
Hold that thought, Daryl. Let's go to James. He's in Missouri. And James, are you listening on KWTO?
Yes,
Excellent.
honorably discharged regular Army, and
okay.
I just kind of like a side note. I wonder if you guys have happened across the subject that apparently seems to be somebody took the poster down in the studio or something, but if there ever was one, we no longer operate off of a constitution in this country.
What poster? In what studio? In this studio?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not familiar with your operations there.
Okay.
But,
so the Constitution, right, yeah. So the Constitution, it's words on paper written by a bunch of dead guys, signed by a bunch of dead guys. It had some good ideas in it. But yeah, I agree with you. The United States government isn't interested in its Constitution, and they only
hasn't been for about 120 years.
Yeah.
The Constitution does not have the power of even a single man, because a single man can twist it to his own use.
Oh, wait, did I say 120? I meant 220.
Anyway, James, go ahead.
Yeah, that's, I don't know how many times I went through the ceremonies of joining one organization or the other with the hold this sign up and swear upon this deity. Or,
you're saying you've gone through the process of swearing an oath to the Constitution multiple times in your life?
As a matter of course, yeah, and the Christian Bible is offered up in circuit courts and so forth, and I've not too long ago discovered that that's not the quote working document.
You discovered that it's not a working document. Now, what do you believe there is a different working document, or that there is just no document whatsoever?
I am not going to profess a belief either direction.
Fair enough.
What I say is introduce that as a subject and see what your dog pound can make of it.
Well, there you go, and I appreciate that. It's definitely not a new idea for us here. I mean, certainly in the the annals of Free Talk Live, the history of this show, we've definitely talked about how the U.S. government, the state governments for that matter, don't follow their constitutions, and there's very, very little that you can do to, make them feel any kind of consequences for that. They only use the Constitution when it's convenient for them to try to pander to it, to when they're running for office, to make you think that they care about the Constitution, but ultimately they will do whatever it is that they want to do. And I don't know who you were quoting earlier. Was it Spooner, Johnny Ray?
No, it was Thoreau. Civil disobedience.
Because Spooner, Lysander Spooner, said that the Constitution had either authorized the tyranny that we face today or it was powerless to prevent it. Either way, it's unfit to exist. James, I thank you.
Excuse me,
Yep.
guys. Does anyone remember First Amendment, maybe?
Yeah, of course we remember that. It's the well, actually, we used to have it right here on a document in the studio, but that got a little worn away over the years. But yeah, the First Amendment, obviously protecting your right to freedom of speech, your right to assembly, your right to.
I would say recognizing the rights instead of actually protecting.
Well, supposedly it was supposed to, enshrine and that would result.
The first 5 words of it are my favorite words in the Constitution.
Congress
and I think it should be the entirety of the Constitution. Congress shall make no law.
Yeah. So there you go. Thanks for the call tonight, James. We're obviously very familiar with the First Amendment and many of the other amendments. In fact, we went through once and we determined that all of them had basically been violated.
Yeah.
Yeah, at this point. So if you want to join us, you can. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We've got Skype at Skype username LRN.FM and the Discord on-air call-in line. We got more to say on the universal basic income subject. That's still to come here. Of course, you're welcome to weigh in and bring up whatever's on your mind. 855-450-FREE like freedom. 855-450-3733. Coming up also, economics in one lesson. We're getting close to the end of this thing. There's more on the way here. This is Free Talk Live.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful full-featured Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core wallet that allows you to send and receive either currency with anyone, anywhere in the world. Download the Bitcoin.com wallet for easy and secure access to your Bitcoin Cash. It's perfect for beginners, and the Bitcoin.com wallet makes using and holding Bitcoins easy. No logins are required. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available for Android, iOS, Windows, Mac, and even Linux. Learn more at Bitcoin.com.
From the first letter of Captain Mark. History is full of flowery documents claiming to limit the power of the crown, but these poetic social contracts have been impotent to prevent the predation. Limited government is a lie they use to keep us submissive. The crown cannot be trusted to abide by its founding charters, nor its treaties, nor even its own rules. The essence of the crown is centralized violence, and I've had enough. That's why I raised my black banner. I am no revolutionary. My aim is not to reset the cycle of violence, but to break it. My aim is an evolved society, invisible to the crown. Not a new hierarchy, but decentralized networks with no central figure for the crown to target. If you want your servile life, keep it, but we will not submit to the crown's agenda. And when you are ready to stop being its beast of burden, ready for adventure and opportunity, join us at pirateswithoutborders.com.
Free Talk Live.
I did all this construction. Well, I had the inspector come through, and he tells me it looks really good, but I think it looks better with Mr. Hamilton. I go, excuse me? He grabs a sledgehammer, and he just starts tearing the place apart. He says it'd be better with Mr. Hamilton. He was looking for payoff.
A $10 bill?
The guy was crazy. He went into my kitchen, and he asked for Mr. Lincoln.
I don't think I believe you.
My mother left me a porcelain doll collection that he just went to town on. And this is the problem with having to have inspections.
Thanks for the call, man. No, that was believable at the very first point.
The guy was asking for Mr. Hamilton.
How about Mr.
Alexander
Franklin?
Hamilton is on the front of a $10 bill. I mean, I'm like, holy crap, he's banging holes in the wall for a $10 bill?
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm. The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, and you can bring up whatever you want by dialing toll-free here. Our number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And you may Skype in at Skype username LRN.FM, or join us on Discord at the Discord on-air call-in line, which you can do over at discord.lrn.fm. With you in the studio here, it's Ian,
Johnny Ray,
and Daryl.
Still to come, we got to talk about economics in one lesson, the final of a 4-part chapter on saving. We'll get into that here, but we're still talking about universal basic income and other things. And I want to mention this, which I'm pretty really surprised about, actually, that we have right now on our Twitch channel. There are 36 people watching. So thank you to everybody who's watching us. We just started the Twitch thing like basically a month ago at this point, and it's gone, I would say, very, very well. We're still pretty new. I think we've got 150 or something like that followers. So there's the followers, which are the people who they like you. They hit the follow button, and then if you turn the notifications on whenever we go live, you get a notification through the Twitch app or via email, however you've selected your notifications to come in, and that lets you know when we're live, which is a handy thing to have in case you space out. You're not used to tuning in at a specific time, that kind of thing. So we got a bunch of followers, 169 of them actually, and then I think close to 40 or 45 subscribers, people who have taken the time to either spend $5 a month to subscribe through Twitch or send us their Twitch Prime subscription, because if you're an Amazon Prime user, you get a free Twitch Prime subscription every month, and you can assign that to us. And everybody that does that, it's like a couple bucks, $2.50 that comes in to help us out over at LRN.FM. So thank you to everybody who's done that. We did some recent tweaks with the Twitch channel. We've got now what they call overlays, which are pretty cool. We've been using them, Johnny Ray, when you are doing game streaming. You've done that. Yeah, you've done that twice now.
Yeah, but wait a minute. But were you putting overlays on?
You've seen the overlays. The overlays show like how many subscribers we have at any given moment.
Okay.
Yeah, so like right now, 43 subscribers, 169 followers. It shows who the latest follower was, who the latest subscriber was, that kind of thing. So and it's updated constantly. So as somebody else, while you're watching us do the show at twitch.lrn.fm, if you hit the subscribe button, your name comes up on screen, or if you hit the follow button, your name actually pops up. It's like, thank you, so-and-so, for subscribing and following. So thank you, for doing that. But I wanted to point out that we're at, I don't know if this is a record level, but because I don't sit there and watch it the whole time, but every now and then I'll peek over at the stats on Twitch, and we've got 37 people watching on Twitch. Now, I know that doesn't sound like a lot, right? Like, you guys are on 175 radio stations. There's probably, 100,000 or something like that. We're not on all 175 at the same time, but, of the dozens that we are on right now, there's probably tens of thousands, if not more than 100,000 people listening. So why are you getting so excited about 37 people on Twitch? It's because it's new, it's different, and if you hit 75 on Twitch, if you hit 75 viewers simultaneously, that helps qualify you for what they call a Twitch partner program. So we are already now in the Twitch affiliates program.
So the sirens go off and balloons drop from the ceiling?
I highly doubt that, but I don't know exactly what the benefit of the partner program is. I read something about it, because when you're on Twitch, once you hit 50 followers, you then qualify, and there's a few other like you have to do a certain number of hours per week, which we nailed that. I mean, we're on every single night.
21 hours plus however much. I noticed you do some gaming occasionally.
Right. Johnny Ray did 2 gaming things this week. I've done a handful of them over the last week or so. But also there's Call to Freedom, which is another show from LRN.FM that's on Twitch. So we easily hit the number of hours required to do these programs. But normally we're at like maybe 10 to 20 or so viewers. We haven't ever come close to 75. At this point, we're at about half of that amount. So maybe if a bunch of people who are out there listening on, let's say, an audio stream, if you've got a laptop or you've got a smartphone device and you want to help boost us over the, because I think that what I read was if you crack through 75, like you don't have to sustain an average of 75 for like a whole month or something like that. I feel like I've read that if you just crack over 75, that gets you that qualification and then you're in. So if you're out there and you're listening to us not on Twitch tonight, and you have the ability, if you're driving, then please don't do this because Twitch is a video service. But if you are, available to do this, just drop over to twitch.lrn.fm. I don't even think you have to log in because all it's counting is viewers. So as long as you are just watching the stream through Twitch, then we should get extra view counts, because you can go and you can look at like the chat room and you can see how many names there are in the chat room, for instance, and there will only be there's way fewer names in the chat room than there are the viewers watching.
And if you're using NoScript, you need to
turn that off.
At least temporarily suspend. Otherwise, it says you need a time machine.
Okay, got it. So suspend whatever, no script or whatever. And so we're at 35 right now. I don't know. Maybe we're still probably too small time to make this, but there's certainly enough people listening on the radio out there to where this could happen. If you wanted to help us with that. So once again, that's twitch.lrn.fm.
Also, Ian, I need some help defeating Slay the Spire. I need help getting my ascension level up because I'm pretty dumb. And my
you're not. Don't talk down about yourself like that.
All right, I'm really smart, but I have my working memory is about the size of is about 2 or 3 sentences long.
Okay.
And you need a good working memory. I need people with real powerful brains to help me get through these Slay the Spire episodes.
You're saying you need people to watch live when you're playing Slay the Spire? Because
and I need them to point out my mistakes and tell me what I'm doing wrong.
So you're playing Slay the Spire?
What's
nothing
wrong
with that?
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you like to watch
I've never
wrestling.
heard the game.
Me neither. I didn't hear about it until Johnny Ray played it earlier this week. But you like to watch wrestling, and they actually had that on Twitch. I showed you a link to Luchadors.
Yeah. And
they had Mexican Luchador wrestling live from Mexico.
AAA.
Yeah, live. Now, is that like the highest level or the lowest?
No, that's AAA. The name of that promotion that you sent me the link of is AAA.
I didn't know if there was like a AA and a single A, if that was like tiers. You know how they have the baseball has AAA?
Yeah,
leagues?
No, that's the name of that Mexican promotion. Then there's CMLL.
That was on the front page, by the way. That's how I found it. I just went to twitch.tv.
And there's one out of New York called Excite Wrestling. There's no E, but otherwise it's spelled like Excite.
I see.
Like, it's exciting.
Yeah, I mean, when I tuned into it, I was like, wow, there's a guy handcuffed to the ropes. That's kind of different. I've never seen that.
Yeah, and I was actually about to go to sleep when I got the message, so I flipped over and watched a couple minutes of it.
Stayed up for a bit, yeah. So, please help us with that if you can. Maybe we can push past 75 viewers simultaneously over at the Twitch channel, but you have to go to twitch.lrn.fm. And if we don't, well, thanks for watching us there anyway. And there are actually people chatting in the Twitch chat room, and thank you to everybody who's watching us there. And share us, too, because that's another way to do it, right? So, like, if you share out that you're watching this thing that you like, maybe some of your social networking friends will follow that, too. All right, so we were talking about universal basic income. That is what we're going to continue to do here. A terrible idea, which, while on its face, for people that, like to help others, sounds nice. Oh, you're handing out money to people in need. Even if it was being privately funded, I still question whether it is the best way to help people. I don't think it is a good way.
I think it is being privately funded.
The Stockton program?
Yeah, I think it is.
All right, we're going to continue here in moments. The toll-free number is 855-450, free like freedom, 855-450-3733. And don't forget to check us out on our Twitch channel at twitch.lrn.fm right now.
Hi, this is Ted Anderson. I'm here to tell you about GCNtelecare.com, a team of board-certified doctors assisting you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Within 15 minutes of registration, care your family can afford. Revolutionizing the healthcare industry, virtual consulting providing diagnosis of non-emergency medical issues by phone or secure video on computer or smart mobile devices. GCNtelecare.com. Virtual care anywhere.
The answer to being in control of your own healthcare is freedom from insurance. Become part of a group of self-pay patients that come together to share in each other's medical expenses. Individual share amounts begin at $107 a month and $347 for families. Choose from 3 health-sharing programs. Holistic treatments may be eligible for sharing. See guidelines. Discount programs available for dental, vision, and pharmacy. Go to libertyoncall.org. That's libertyoncall.org.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
The 3 most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1, share 1 episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2, buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3, give $5 a month to the AMP program. It's my firm belief that Free Talk Live's AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented organizations. Support all the organizations you love, but make sure you give $5 a month to AMP at amp.freetalklive.com.
Hi, I'm Derek J. I don't want a politician to represent me. To me, government is the idea that one group of people can coerce everyone to comply with an edict or face increasing punishments up to and including death. Despite perhaps the most noble of intentions, the best government services are a far cry from what could be provided for by voluntary interactions. Besides, the people who call themselves the government wage wars and put peaceful people in jail for crimes involving no victims. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You can dial toll-free and join us here. The number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. Zencash. It is a newer cryptocurrency. There's a lot of them out there. I mean, there's over 1,300 cryptos, and it can be hard to decide, what to put your money into. And I am not an investment advisor. I don't know what the best choice is going to be. I don't know what's going to dethrone Bitcoin someday, but I suspect something probably will. Will it be Zencash? I have no idea. But Zencash is pretty cool because it was actually designed by liberty-loving voluntarists. They wrote in voluntarism into the white paper of this project. Go and see it for yourself at zencash.com. It launched last year, so it's pretty new to the scene, but it's got some of the best technology like zero-knowledge anonymity, as well as decentralized autonomous organizations. And they're creating a secure platform for money and messages that can be sent to anyone, anywhere in the world. It's a cryptocurrency dedicated to peace, anonymity, and decentralization. Go to Zencash.com to learn more, and we got some new facts about Zencash just this week. They've got now over 6,700 secure nodes, which they say makes Zencash one of the strongest blockchains in the world. There are now almost 50 team members who are working on the project. That's up 10 times from the original 5 team members. So people are getting interested because there's really something special going on with Zencash. So go and see it for yourself. Zencash.com. Ian, Johnny Ray, and Daryl in the studio here tonight as we continue. We were talking about universal basic income, but first we go to the phones, actually going to Skype where David is on the line in New Mexico. Hello, David.
Hey, I got a couple comments on what your callers had said. But first of all, something fun. I was sitting here daydreaming. I was waiting. The Super Bowl just happened, which reminded me, it happened in Minnesota in their new stadium. And the last time that there was a Super Bowl in Minnesota, I picked up a woman from the hotel and brought her to the, to the Metrodome at that time for the game, and brought her back afterward. And that woman was the mother of Jim Kelly, the quarterback for the Bills.
Okay.
Which was kind of a fun experience. It was kind of, if you're chauffeuring, I was a charter pilot and an on-call limo driver back there at the time, and got a call to do a limo. Anyway, it was kind of, if you're transporting the mom of one of the quarterbacks to the game, it's kind of I don't know, it's kind of fun.
You felt special. Okay.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
All right. Well, what were you calling to tell us about tonight?
You had an original caller talking about government retaliation, the guy about gassing and blinding and such like that.
Yeah, he claimed that he was blinded in the middle of the night by somebody who had snuck into his house or room or whatever and put some sort of drops in his eyes, but there's no real evidence that actually happened. That's just speculation on his part. But yeah, that's what you're referring to. Go ahead.
Right, yeah. And then you had another caller later. You were just talking about the Constitution and how the government doesn't abide by it anymore. And I don't know how many people are aware. There's apparently a compilation book that's been put out. Most states have what they call, like in New Mexico here, they have the NMSA, the New Mexico statutes annotated, where you have the actual statute and then you have a bunch of different explanations. And there apparently is a book called the U.S. Constitution annotated.
Okay.
And what they've done is they've taken the U.S. Constitution, everybody's familiar with that, and then next to each every portion of the Constitution, and you end up with thousands of pages. What they do is they've annotated each piece of the Constitution with case law from, for instance, like Supreme Court decisions that have then modified the Constitution to then mean something else.
The interpretation.
And this is on the U.S. Congress.gov.
It's official government document.
/Constitution-annotated.
So this is an official government document.
Yes. The complete Constitution annotated PDF provides interactive links from the table of contents, or table of contents, index, and table of cases.
So you're saying it's basically a history of how the Constitution was gutted or ignored or overturned?
Yeah, basically. Exactly. It's modified. The legislators make a law, and they're usually somewhat succinct, and then that law ends up being not necessarily clear, and so you end up in court. One side saying the law means this, and the other side saying no, the law means that, and they fight over it, and then a court decides at whatever level, on all the way on up to the Supreme Court if necessary, and that becomes the case law, and then the case law then is referred to by other courts if the same question comes before them as to what does this piece of the Constitution or what does this law mean. If there's any case law that's modified the statutory law or the coded law, then that's the way the new law is, until if and when the case law would be modified. And so
the PDF for the First Amendment is 304 pages.
God, that is insane.
Right. Let me jump in on that one, since that's exactly where I was going. For instance, the First Amendment, the right to petition your government. This ties in with the retaliation. I've shared with you, half a dozen different things that the way I've viewed that I've been retaliated in this state, New Mexico, for my. And let me use a word that you used a while back, Ian, referring to yourself, troublemaker, because that's exactly how they've labeled me, as a troublemaker. And last I know, there's no law against being a troublemaker.
The person who wants to get accountability, the person who wants transparency, you're the troublemaker.
Exactly. And that's how the one of the deputies, a friend of mine actually, who does security at the Section Judicial District Court downtown Albuquerque, he had to bar me from coming into the courthouse one day when I went to petition my government, First Amendment. I had been attacked by the dude my ex moved into, the guy that tried to adopt my children, and I've been physically attacked, and so I went to file a petition for a domestic violence restraining order, and because the chief judge, Ted Baca, at the time at the Second Judicial District Court in Albuquerque, had written that one-page order that I believe I've referred to that bars me from having any contact whatsoever with the Second Judicial District Court where I lived, or anybody who works there in or out of the courthouse, without giving any reason whatsoever as to why he was barring me. And when asked for an interpretation of the order, the deputy, all that he could tell the witness that was with me, when she asked, why was David Olson barred from the courthouse, is that all the deputy could come up with is, basically, ma'am, he's been labeled as a troublemaker. And so based on that, they have barred me from the courthouse. And literally, when I went in there one day to file a petition to petition my government, my First Amendment right has been modified by Chief Judge Ted Baca's order that has no grounds, no legitimate grounds. And that's just one little example.
Well, I can relate. I've also been illegally barred from a courthouse, and luckily there was a judge that overturned that because it was a sheriff who made that order against me, a no trespass order barring me and several other activists from the local court facility. And so a judge overturned that eventually. But yeah, it'd be a lot harder to get another judge to overturn a judge's order barring you because they all tend to be buddies and hang out together. Hey, thanks for the call, David. I appreciate it. The toll-free number here.
The full document, 2,882 pages. Now, that includes the table of contents, the title page, a very, very, very lengthy index.
Yikes. By the way, I did find out here, I've been digging around through the Twitch settings, and okay, I was wrong. Somebody had told me you just had to hit 75. It is 75 average over the 30-day period. So it's not something we can accomplish tonight, and I don't know if we were going to. We're currently at over 36 viewers. We peaked apparently at 50, though. So we did hit a I think a record peak of 50 viewers at the same time. And so it's going to take a while. I mean, we're still brand new to Twitch. And the thing, sort of the way this works is success breeds success, right? So if you have viewers, then more people see you. Because on like the list of talk shows on Twitch, which is one of their channel categories that they have, if you only have 10 viewers, you're down toward the bottom of the list. But if you got 40 or whatever, like we do right now, we're closer to the top of the list. And of course, the closer to the top you get, the more people see you, the more people tune in, the more people follow, the more people get notices when you are live. And so anyway, thanks to everybody who is following and watching there. We're going to continue more about the universal basic income, the idea of just handing out cash to anybody. The toll-free number here is 855-450, free like freedom. Is that actually going to help people, though? You want to weigh in, 855-450-3733, or join our Discord, discord.lrn.fm.
Live from the Verticoin studio, this is the call to freedom. It's the Crypto Hour, brought to you by Helium 47 here on LRN.FM. When you hear the faucet, be caller 5 to get some free coins. This is the call to freedom.
Cryptocurrencies are successful because of good technology. The liberty-loving voluntarists who founded Zencash in 2017 took the best tech, like zero-knowledge anonymity and decentralized autonomous organizations, and are creating a secure platform for money, messages, and media that can be sent to anyone, anywhere in the world. Zencash is a cryptocurrency dedicated to peace, anonymity, and decentralization. Find out more at Zencash.com. That's Zencash.com.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.
Looking for that edge during those intimate moments? We see many ads for enhancement, but the side effects include death. At GCN Team, we should change the Healthy Body, Brain, and Heart Pack to the Healthy Libido Pack. The brain and heart are not the only organs that require a healthy vascular system. For proper blood flow at the right moment, go to GCNteam.com or call 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203.
Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper, FPP News, at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
Did you know you can watch Free Talk Live during our live show 7 days a week from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern via our studio cams at cam.freetalklive.com? Plus, you can chat with other listeners while you watch, all totally free. Now that our live video stream is hosted by YouTube, our video archives will be online even faster. So be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen, watch, and chat all free at cam.freetalklive.com. That's cam.freetalklive.com.
We've all heard about blockchain assets like Dogecoin, Ether, and Ripple. Bitcoin isn't the only player in the blockchain game any longer. And for those of us wondering how to get our hands on these digital assets, finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live, dial toll free, bring up what you want. We got lots to discuss here. Of course, you can take control of the airwaves at 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And we've got Skype, so Skype on into the show. That's Skype username LRN.FM. I did mention our Discord earlier. You can go and get interactive with other Free Talk Live listeners right now. They are in there, and some of them are there late into the night and earlier in the afternoon, and so pretty much anytime you want to connect with other listeners and some of the hosts of the show. Even Daryl is in the Discord tonight. You go to discord.lrn.fm. Daryl has done it through his web browser, so you don't even need to install an app. Although if you get into it and you like it, they do have an easy-to-use app for pretty much every operating system. So, whether it's Linux or Windows or Mac, you can have an app, or iPhone or Android, and that makes it easy to connect pretty much all the time with the Discord. And, of course, set your notifications to whatever preferences that you want. It's Ian, Johnny Ray, and Daryl in the studio here tonight. Of course, we'll take your calls about anything that's on your mind. We still have economics in one lesson to talk about, but the Stockton UBI program is where we started the show out tonight, and I don't think we've really finished the topic. What you just mentioned was that this is apparently a voluntary program as far as funding is concerned, Daryl. Is that right?
That's what it seems like. It says here that Chris Hughes, who is one of the executives with Facebook, has personally donated $1 million to the Economic Security Project, a program that he co-chairs, which will provide funding for Stockton's program to get that seed program that's the Stockton Economic Empowerment Demonstration Program.
Yeah.
So it does sound as though this pilot that is going to wind up giving $500 per month to, according to KQED, several dozen families for 1 year. So it's a pilot program that's going to last for 1 year. And yeah, it's several dozen families. Not
Privately
sure.
funded.
Does that mean 2 dozen, 3 dozen?
Several would mean 4 to 5 dozen at least. Right?
Yeah, and they don't actually say how many in any of the articles that I'm seeing.
Well, they probably haven't figured that out yet, right? They haven't started the actual payouts yet, have they?
Does not appear that they have started them.
Right. So they're probably taking applicants and putting the program together.
And again, none of the articles that I see have a date on when this is actually going to begin, but it is something that they're working on. The mayor, Michael Tubbs, said that the slow economic crumble, and I skipped over a sentence here, Stockton declared bankruptcy in 2012.
Oh my. So they basically don't have any money from which in the tax coffers to pay these people, so they need it to be a voluntary program.
Yes. The economic crumble is what inspired 27-year-old Michael Tubbs, who is the mayor, to start the SEED program. His own experience, this from Time, his own experience growing up in Stockton, seeing his mother struggle to provide for their family on a cashier's job at a Discovery Zone, despite working long hours, made him realize something needs to change. Tubbs told KQED, "I think Stockton is absolutely ground zero for a lot of the issues we're facing as a nation." Now, Time does report here that UBI, not a new concept, and support has historically been bipartisan. Now, currently, it seems as though it's not something Republicans would support, right? But Republican President Richard Nixon actually tested UBI in several cities from 1968 to 1971.
So this dumb idea has been around for a long time, and it has been bipartisan.
Yes. So dum-dums in both the Republican Party and the Democratic Party don't understand economics.
No.
But the article here says that Richard Nixon found it did not negatively affect work ethic.
Okay.
Martin Luther King Jr. also supported basic economic security for all Americans, believing racial and economic inequality to be intimately intertwined. Other countries like Finland and Canada started to test out UBI programs last year, but results from the experiments are not yet fully realized. If Stockton's SEED program yields promising results, it may put itself on the international map.
So how is it that they test this program? Do they go around to the recipients later on, after 6 months or 12 months or whatever? Okay, fill out this form, and we really want to know what you felt about this. Did you like getting $500 a month from us? Was that helpful to you? I mean, everybody's going to say, hell yeah. My life's much better now that I had $500 a month. I got all kinds of free stuff.
They don't say exactly how they're going to wind up, realizing how the pilot worked, but chances are there will be some kind of survey. There will also be probably more regular, probably quarterly check-ins of, okay, so what sort of income are you making from other sources other than this $500? Are you working more? Are you working less? Have you taken up new hobbies? Have you started working less at Starbucks so that you can pursue that writing job? Have you started crafting? Or are you selling stuff on eBay now? Or are you fulfilling all of your wildest dreams that you could do if only you didn't have to do this work thing? What are you doing with this extra $500? And I wonder how many of these people are going to say, oh, yeah, I wound up buying some really sweet rims for my car.
I don't know.
You laugh, but it's tax season, right? Bunch of people, I'm getting a big old refund.
Time to blow it.
And they're going to wind up putting a stereo system in their car, and the stereo system's going to wind up costing more than the car.
Yeah.
Put some spinner rims.
Pimp my ride.
I can finally wind up paying off half of what I spent on Christmas, and then the other half I'll keep paying minimums on until Christmas time next year.
That happens. And again, that goes back to why people are not doing well economically. I mean, I understand that if you're working a minimum wage job and you've got kids that you probably aren't doing well, period, even if you are putting your nose to the grindstone, that's hard to handle. But there are also people who they've got bad habits, and those bad habits will be exacerbated by free money every single month. It won't be made better. But if you want to weigh in here, you're welcome to join us. Our number is 855-450 free like freedom. I doubt very many of these people are going to be putting money into savings. And that's one of the topics we've been discussing here over the last several weeks on Free Talk Live, which is economics in one lesson.
And if you want to help donate to this, they are accepting donations. I don't advise that you do it, but they do have a donate link on the website for the Economic Security Project.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not as outraged about this because it is being done voluntarily. So, because they're doing this voluntarily, I think that is the best aspect of this program. I just question the efficacy, the effectiveness of giving people money with no strings attached. No, okay, you want free money, you have to come sit down with a consultant and, a volunteer or somebody who can talk to you about budgeting.
And there are some people that would say, well, Alaska has a UBI.
You mean the oil payout thing?
The oil payout. You've got to have been a resident for at least 2 years. Uh-huh. And then you wind up getting the oil subsidy every year.
I think there is an argument that is a UBI.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that's necessarily a good thing, but...
right, because why is the state of Alaska running the oil companies?
Good question. And
because if the state of Alaska was not involved in the oil business, there would not be that $2,000 check every year.
Yep, that's true. Yeah, it would be interesting to hear from people up there as far as how they feel about that. The toll-free number, if you want to join us, is 855-450-FREE. If you're in Alaska, it's still the afternoon right now. So anyway, let's continue here. You can bring up anything you want. We've got more to say about economics in one lesson. We've been in the chapter about saving for probably more than a month at this point, and it's a 4-part chapter. So today we're going to be completing the 4th part in that chapter, which will lead us toward the end of the book, Economics in One Lesson, which you can pick up for yourself, by the way. There are digital copies available for free. The author's name, Henry Hazlitt. You can just go and search for Economics in One Lesson and grab a PDF copy if you want to check this book out. And it has been a good book, and I think it would be good for somebody who is new to economics to understand some of the basic concepts. I think he does a good job of it. He's not the most libertarian author in the world. There are some things that we don't agree with him on here on this show, but I would say overall it's probably 95% liberty oriented.
I think if he had written it more libertarian, then nobody would have ever heard of it by the time that we came around.
All right, so toll-free number, if you want to join us here, 855-450 free like freedom. We got a full hour to go, and you can take control. You can bring up what you want, whether it's the UBI comments that you might want to share with us, or anything goes here. You may take control on Free Talk Live. Also, call us on Skype at Skype username LRN.FM, and join our Discord, discord.lrn.fm.
I'm attorney paid spokesperson. Could your house go into foreclosure? Are you behind on your mortgage payments? Does it seem like the bank has no interest in helping you save your home? And you feel like you have nowhere to turn for help? Then we have good news for you. Foreclosure Protection Services can help save your home as they specialize in foreclosure assistance. That's all they do. If you're behind on your mortgage payments, being threatened with foreclosure, have been denied a loan modification, or been the victim of a predatory loan, it's critical that you call Foreclosure Protection Services now at 800-667-9035. Their network of attorneys and their agents are available to speak to you now. If you're behind on your mortgage payments, Foreclosure Protection Services can help stop the foreclosure process. Call today before it's too late. New laws are in effect that may save your home. Call Foreclosure Protection Services now at 800-667-9035. 800-667-9035. That's 800-667-9035.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keenan, the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Sunday, February 11th, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.35 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,317 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $35, and the average price of Bitcoin is $8,423. Antiwar.com reports in another move that underscores major diplomatic progress made on the Korean Peninsula, North Korea has extended a formal invitation to South Korean President Moon Jae-in to visit Pyongyang at the earliest date possible. This comes after a public handshake between Moon and North Korean delegation head Kim Yo-jong, the sister of Kim Jong-un. Moon did not immediately accept the offer, but suggested he was willing to have such talks under the right circumstances, while trying to use it as leverage to get North Korea to agree to direct talks with the United States. Though North Korea has expressed openness to talks with the U.S., with Russia as a mediator in recent months, U.S. opposition seems to have soured such efforts. Moon's efforts, likewise, come with the tacit assumption that the U.S. still is not going to be on board. Vice President Mike Pence is in South Korea with the rest of these officials for the Winter Olympics, but his visit has been overshadowed by the diplomacy going on. Pence, for his part, has mostly made news walking out of dinners and not shaking hands with people. For over 40 years, Robertson Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. And as a Bitcoin-preferred business, Robertson Roberts Brokerage has removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Robertson Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. UPI reports Equifax's reported hacking of consumers' personal information was more widespread than originally disclosed, according to new documents submitted to a U.S. Senate committee. The credit reporting agency said cyber thieves accessed tax identification numbers, email addresses, and driver's license information of 145.5 million customers, stretching beyond the scope the company originally revealed, according to documents received by the Senate Banking Committee. The Wall Street Journal and CNN reviewed the documents sent to the Senate. In September, Equifax said it had been breached, compromising personal information belonging to 145.5 million customers, including names, social security numbers, dates of birth, and addresses from May through July 2017. Now, documents show that the license date and issue date might also have been accessed. Equifax said an insignificant number of email addresses were affected, and they are commonly searchable in public domains. Equifax spokeswoman Meredith Grifanti told CNN Money the original disclosure was not meant to represent the full list of potentially exposed information. With the data, criminals can open bank accounts and lines of credit, including a credit card or a mortgage. Lauren Saunders, Associate Director at the National Consumer Law Center, said the more information scammers have about you, the easier it is for them to impersonate you, and the easier it is for them to get by the protocols that banks and others use to make sure they are dealing with the right individual. Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian are the top 3 credit reporting agencies. They gather information on individuals from banks, credit card companies, retailers, and public records to create credit reports, which are then used by lenders to determine the risk of a potential borrower. Equifax has reportedly sent email notices to consumers affected by the breach. Are you looking for a cryptocurrency that has a focus on users and usability? Then look into Zencash. Zencash has the ability to use both transparent and shielded transactions, with shielded transactions using zero-knowledge proofs. Zencash features global governance with inclusive decision-making, reliable funding for continuous improvements, and documentation and wallets in many languages that are available for Linux, Mac, Windows, and Android devices. Learn more at zensystem.io. That's zensystem.io. Reuters reports a tourist helicopter crashed in the Grand Canyon on Saturday, killing 3 people and injuring 4 others, according to Arizona media and a federal aviation spokesman. The helicopter was on a tour of the canyon, which is more than a mile deep and one of the top U.S. tourist destinations, when it went down, according to a dispatcher for the local Department of Emergency Services. He said 3 people were killed and 4 had unknown injuries, and that authorities were possibly looking for 1 or 2 more people. Alan Kennitzer, spokesman for the Federal Aviation Administration, said via email the helicopter, a Eurocopter EC-130 from Airbus, crashed under unknown circumstances in the Grand Canyon and suffered substantial damage. The FAA and NTSB will conduct investigations. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
After logging onto the Xbox One game console at one of his classmates' homes, 12-year-old Michael Cutler admitted to reporters this week that he really does not have the slightest clue about what his friend's name could be.
I mean, his name might be Brian. No, wait, Brian's my other friend, the one with the PS4. Yeah, if I'm being totally honest, there's no way I can tell you his name. Not a chance.
Noting that the boy had, quote, an absolutely huge HD TV and a bunch of games his mom won't let him play, Cutler confirmed that he could recall only the faintest details about his friend, including the fact that his mother makes chocolate chip cookies and that he has a dog of some kind.
He's got Killer Instinct, Assassin's Creed, Battlefield 4, and Titanfall? Man, that game's awesome. Anyway, I've just been calling him Flamethrower because that's his gamer tag. Hopefully he doesn't catch on. Hey, can I stick around for a few more hours? I'm so close to beating this.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live, and you can bring up anything you want. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. It's 855-450-3733, and we've got Skype. The Skype username is LRN.FM. Plus, you can call on Discord if you want. We've got the Discord on-air call-in line available to you over at discord.lrn.fm. Here in the studio tonight, it's Ian,
Johnny Ray,
and Daryl.
Whether it's the universal basic income, terrible idea. We can talk more about that. Economics in one lesson. We're going to talk about savings, supposedly, although I don't know if I agree that this portion of the chapter on savings actually has anything to do with savings. We'll talk about that coming up here in moments. But first, to the phones, to the fun. Let's talk to, we've got Sharon. She's in Long Beach, California, listening on the radio to what I believe to be a pirate radio station out there in Long Beach. Go ahead, Sharon.
What?
Huh?
It's in Long Beach. I live in Long Beach. I get you on regular radio, FM radio.
Yeah, but I bet it's a pirate radio station because it says here you're listening on 88.9 FM. I don't know of anybody that is carrying the show out in Long Beach, so we don't have an affiliate officially out there. And usually at that low end of the dial, if it's not a pirate radio station, it's probably a non-commercial station, which technically non-coms can't carry Free Talk Live. Legally in the world of broadcasting, you get like religious stations and the NPR stations usually down at the low end of the FM dial. So we're a commercial talk show.
Later in the evening, I get the CNN News on this station too.
Well, I love pirate radio broadcasters, so I just want to thank whoever it is that's in charge of that station. I don't know who you are, but
what was the frequency again?
88.9 in Long Beach, California, according to Sharon.
According to Radio Locator, that's KXLU, which is Loyola Marymount University's college station.
Loyola? Isn't Loyola in isn't that Louisiana?
There are a bunch of Loyola universities.
So there's a college. There's a California. Anyway, Sharon, what were you calling about tonight?
Well, I don't think there's anything wrong with subsidizing poor people, especially a lot of people that suddenly can find themselves financially strapped all of a sudden, just maybe your line of work, they're not going to, have you working for them anymore. Mm-hmm. I worked in the beauty business for more than 30 years. I made good money in it.
Yep.
I raised 3 kids on it. And but now, unfortunately, because it was never regulated by the state board or any cities that, they have all these people that come in now that open up little shops, and they don't have to have the same standards that the regular shops have to have, like sanitation and legitimate business licenses, and the cities know about it, and state board knows about it, but they don't do anything about it.
So let me ask a question here. Why do you think that businesses need to get permission from a government to wind up selling things?
Well, it's not selling things. It's the beauty business, and
putting up makeup or nails, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Well, you said that there are shops that don't have a business license.
That's what she said.
Which makes it sound as though you think that shops need a business license.
Any salon, any beauty salon or spa has to have a business license.
Because if you don't, then men with guns will show up.
That's the law, but I'm asking why. Why do you support that law existing?
Because she had a license once.
I said, why do you support that law existing?
Well, I mean, any business that you want to open up, you have to have a city business license
Why?
to open it up. And it has to be regulated by the city.
Why?
Right, but why should the city regulate that, is my question.
So, generally, so that it's a legitimate business and you're following all the OSHA and state, the sanitation rules.
The fear is, Daryl, that if you don't get a license, that you'll then be cutting off people's ears, you'll be poisoning them, you'll be burning them with chemicals, and that it'll just be a terrifying situation for all the customers out there. Is that what you're saying, Sharon? If there was no licenses, that people would be getting hurt in these beauty establishments?
Well, I'm just trying to make a point.
Well,
that's what you have to do to
open
a
no.
business.
See, that's the thing. You're just kind of repeating yourself about saying, well, this is what you have to do. Well, we understand that there are government bureaucrats out there who will threaten you with violence if you don't do what they say. I mean, that's true in a lot of different areas of life. But usually when you hear from business owners, now, you said you used to run a beauty shop?
No, I've worked in beauty salons and spas.
So you had the government permission slip. You had the license.
Well, I worked in them. I didn't own them.
You didn't have to, as a worker, you didn't have to get a permission slip?
The business owner has to get a license.
But you yourself, as the beautician, did not?
No, because I'm an employee. But
interesting, because a lot of states require the beauticians to wind up getting a license. You've got to go to 1,000 hours of training to learn how to properly apply makeup to someone else's face.
You have to get a license to operate as a hairdresser.
That's what
or
I was
facialist
asking you.
Or whatever.
So you did have a license.
That's the only way you can get a job in a beauty shop.
Okay, so that's why I was confused, because it sounded like you were saying you didn't have a license as an individual, but you did have a license as an individual. Yeah. And so usually the people who are licensed want to see other people be licensed, because it's kind of a slave-on-slave violence mentality of, well, I've been beaten into submission, I've gotten, jumped through the government hoops, I've got the permission slip, so therefore everybody else needs to do the same thing, and if they don't, then they're a clear danger to their customers, which of course is ridiculous. I mean, the marketplace has a built-in disincentive against poisoning or harming your customers, in that they won't come back to you again, and they will tell people that they had a bad experience at your shop if you end up cutting off their ear or burning them with some sort of concoction.
But it's well known in the business that a lot of these people that are foreigners, they come into this country and they don't really ever get a license to operate.
Good. I think that's good. I don't think people should ask permission from the government.
Did you know that they're spreading diseases like skin tuberculosis, for one thing?
That sounds like fear-mongering to me.
They're also
That sounds like fear-mongering from somebody that doesn't want competition.
That's true. If you get on your computer and research it, you'll find out that that's true.
I'm going to find out one example of somebody who got some sort of infection somewhere in California.
Example. Not hundreds of examples of it.
Sure, lady.
We'll
Sure.
just get on your computer.
Because that's what's going to happen is somebody's just going to keep their doors open and keep operating while they're poisoning people or, harming them in some way. It's ridiculous.
Well, how many articles have we read over the years, Ian, about regulated hospitals that wind up
Poisoning
getting
and,
people,
yeah, MRSA.
the MRSA infections and staph infections and all these other things. And we're talking about regulated hospitals that the AMA sets up.
Yeah. So what am I supposed to search for here, Sharon? I've got internet right in front of me. What am I going to search for to find out?
The spread of skin tuberculosis in the beauty business.
All right. Well, we'll see if.
In the manicuring business. That's why it was all.
And you're saying this is only happening in California, where they're not enforcing?
I think it's happening in more than just California.
You think it's happening, but you're not really sure.
So I just did a search for skin tuberculosis and beauty, and the top article on Google is from Smithsonian Magazine of how tuberculosis shaped Victorian fashion.
That doesn't sound very
In Victorian
contemporary.
society, tuberculosis was for hotties. How tuberculosis symptoms became ideals of beauty in the 19th century.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it here. I mean, maybe I'm just searching for the wrong things, Sharon. I'm not seeing any kind of headlines screaming about the dangers from TB infections coming from unregulated skincare or beauticians in California or elsewhere. But it's not uncommon for people who are in the business to spread rumors and mistruths about their competition just because they didn't get a license, and you're jealous because they had the courage to not go and get a license and open up their doors, and you jumped through all the hoops, and you went through and you put in the applications, and you gave the government their money. And if the government would just go away, the market would be able to self-regulate itself just fine. You could go to beauticians that got certifications independently, and you didn't have to get a license to do any of that. More coming up. Thanks for the call, Sharon.
I got my Blink Home security system delivered right to my door. I downloaded the app and it walked me right through the easy setup. Even with my complicated router system, I was done in like 10 minutes. Now it notifies me whenever something moves in front of the wireless cameras, or I can just check it whenever I want right from my phone. And I got you a deal. Get 3 Blink cams for what the other guys charge you for 1, plus an extra 10% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. 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 What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
You've heard of Bitcoin Cash, but did you know there's now a Bitcoin Cash wallet? The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful full-featured Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core wallet that allows you to send and receive either currency with anyone, anywhere in the world. The Bitcoin.com wallet supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available for Android, iOS, Windows, Mac, and even Linux. Learn more at Bitcoin.com. That's Bitcoin.com.
Cryptocurrencies are successful because of good technology. The liberty-loving voluntarists who founded Zencash in 2017 took the best tech, like zero-knowledge anonymity and decentralized autonomous organizations, and are creating a secure platform for money, messages, and media that can be sent to anyone, anywhere in the world. Zencash is a cryptocurrency dedicated to peace, anonymity, and decentralization. Find out more at Zencash.com. That's Zencash.com. On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you AMP Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
Hi, this is Mark Edge of Free Talk Live. Michael W. Dean's book, User's Manual for the Human Experience, changed my life. In a culture that attempts to turn you into a compliant victim, this book gives you implementable steps on everything from how to be aware of your environment walking down the street to business, to how to handle a toxic person in your life. If you're a human, you need to read this book at least once. Go to Amazon and get the Kindle version, or paperback, or an audiobook of A User's Manual for the Human Experience.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You can bring up whatever you want here on the live Sunday edition. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And we've got Skype as well. The Skype username is lrn.fm. Plus, you can join us on the Discord at discord.lrn.fm. The Blink home security system is available to you, and it is about as easy as anything could possibly be as far as setup time is concerned. You don't have to deal with crazy drilling and running wires through walls and all kinds of hassle with the Blink home security system because the cameras are wireless. You unbox them, you put the batteries in, which are included, and then you just put the cameras up wherever you want them in your home. You plug in the one wire in the system, which is the power cable for the hub, and then you get it all set up with your Wi-Fi enabled device like your smartphone or your tablet. It's super easy, super fast. You'll be impressed with it. Go to blinkprotect.com/FTL and you get 3 Blink cams for what some of the other guys might charge you for one of their wired cameras. Blinkprotect.com/FTL, like Free Talk Live. As we continue, we'll go to your calls and thoughts, whether it's about the universal basic income thing or, as our last caller just pointed out, she's really upset with all those darn immigrants opening up unlicensed beauty salons. And Daryl, you did a little digging during the break there. You found some interesting statistics about beauty salons and customers being injured.
Yeah, I don't know how accurate any of this is because they only talked to 90 patrons of nail and hair salons from 3 counties in New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
So not a very big sample size. About 42% said they developed skin issues. Another 10% reported fungal infections after visiting salons.
These are licensed salons, presumably.
Yes.
Yep.
Problems included itchiness to the hands or face, cuts, burning or tingling sensations, and pain or redness around the nail area, athlete's foot, finger or toenail fungus, and nail discoloration. However, the author of the article here says that there's no evidence to show that any of the problems they reported were actually because of the visit to the salon.
Could have been a coincidence, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Well, certainly, correlation is not causation. You go to the salon, you have some burning. It may not have been the cause of that, but either way, nobody there was saying that these were unlicensed shade tree salons that they'd gone to.
Now, it does say, and this kind of backs up the claim of the previous caller, most of the nail salon workers were Asian.
Yeah, that's pretty typical, right? Asian nail salons.
They were given training in English.
Asia. Oh, in English.
The researchers suggested that salon workers needed comprehensive chemical use training in their primary languages to better understand how to actually wind up using the chemicals. So they're saying while there's no evidence that any of the problems were due to the visit of the salon, it is possible that some of the chemicals were misused. But again, these are licensed salons that they're talking about.
So,
but again, Asian women, so therefore foreigners, so therefore something bad.
I'm no expert on beauty, but if a guy wanted to facilitate the spread of fungus or skin tuberculosis, then probably the best way you could do it is to get a California governmental body to put a stop to it. Is to get some government workers to get on a commission and...
You're saying the opposite would happen. You're saying if a government program
fund
is
a program to stop the spread of fungus from beauticians, then you're going to get the opposite.
You'll get more of it.
Yeah, you'll get the opposite of what you're
sort of
trying
how
to
like
do.
with the war on drugs, you get more drugs, you get worse, more dangerous drugs, you get violence in the streets. With a war on poverty, you get more poor and hungry people. Is that what you're saying?
Yep. If you've got unlicensed folks there, they have limits on the access to chemicals that supposedly, allegedly legitimate operations use and buy.
Mm-hmm.
There's stores here in Keene that will stop you at the door and tell you
don't have a license.
Yeah, don't come in. You can't buy these products.
Yep, I've seen that.
So you're increasing the risk to some of the beauty patrons.
All right, toll-free number if you want to join us here, 855-450-FREE like freedom, to Lakeland, Florida, where Bobby's on the line listening on TuneIn. Hello, Bobby.
The universal income.
Yeah.
If you did give everybody, let's say, $500 a month, I believe that would be a bad idea. I'm with you guys on that. Especially because, like that lady Sarah that calls in from New Mexico every night, who loves the red light cameras and all that crap.
Yeah, she's probably going to be on hold here in about 30 seconds.
Yeah, well, if you give everybody $500, well, let's say the government doesn't make any of the money. They're going to be taking it from like you guys and people that are working and everything. So let's say somebody has to pay their child support. Well, that $500, I mean, couldn't the government just take that $500 from them and then just give it to somebody like, let's say the man who had, somebody has a kid and they, were irresponsible and had a kid and now they got child support. Well, now you're having to pay that guy child support because now the $500 is going to pay his child support. And then, I think if you had used that $500, that you had to go to pay child support, well, I mean, it's not going to do you any good.
Well, the other thing is it's not going to do you any good because if you give $500 to everybody, then everybody's $500 richer, and ultimately
and then it evens out.
If the national government is printing that money out, then you're causing inflation, and more dollars will be chasing the same amount of goods, and so therefore, as you say, everything evens out because the price of goods goes up. So then we just need to
give everybody $500 more dollars.
It doesn't work.
And then $500 more, and then ultimately just give everybody $1 million. On January 1st of every year, and then everybody's a millionaire.
Right, and then your burgers cost $15,000 instead of $5,000.
No, because you don't have to pay the robot flipping the burger $15 an hour minimum wage.
Sorry, Bobby, what was that?
Yeah, I make minimum wage, and that Sarah lady, she's for a $15 an hour minimum wage, but she's on disability. But if I got a $15 minimum wage, which I make minimum wage, so yeah, why should I be against 15? Well, I wouldn't be able to buy the hamburger that I'm making, and so I mean I wouldn't be able to eat the food that I'm making if it went to $15 an hour. My owner, he's going to raise the prices.
That's right.
And I'm not even going to be able to buy the dang hamburger.
That's right, and that's what you see happen. And thank you, Bobby, for the call tonight. That's what you see happen in the cities like, what was it, Seattle, I think, that went up to, or they have a plan to go up to 15. They're stepping it up. I think it's like 13 right now.
Right.
But where they raise the minimum wage, you see people in business having to make some serious decisions like, do I cut staff? Do I increase the price of the products?
Well,
do I
not
do all
only
of the above?
that, something else, you had workers that were asking for fewer hours.
Now, why was that?
Because they were losing out on some of the welfare they were collecting. Oh, now I'm making, because you gave me a pay raise, I now don't qualify for this assistance to wind up paying my heating bill and this and that. Can you bump me from 20 hours down to 14?
All right, there's more on the way here. You can take control of the airwaves and bring up whatever's on your mind. The number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We've got Skype as well. Skype username is LRN.FM. And you can call on the on-air call-in line on our Discord at discord.lrn.fm, where the chatters are fighting it out right now. It's Free Talk Live.
Hi, this is Ted Anderson. I'm here to tell you about GCNtelecare.com, a team of board-certified doctors assisting you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Within 15 minutes of registration, care your family can afford. Revolutionizing the healthcare industry, virtual consulting providing diagnosis of non-emergency medical issues by phone or secure video on computer or smart mobile devices. GCNtelecare.com. Virtual care anywhere.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com.
Are you tired of your taxes funding endless occupations around the world? Antiwar.com is run by people who understand that wars abroad become wars at home, wars on our freedoms. Antiwar.com is dedicated to bringing you the latest in news, views, interviews, and reviews from the top movers and shakers in the anti-occupation movement. Antiwar.com has it all, from thorough foreign policy analysis to interviews with whistleblowers who used to run the military-industrial complex. Anti-war, pro-free market. That's antiwar.com.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
This is Free Talk Live. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We've got Skype, and the Skype username is LRN.FM. The Discord chat is discord.lrn.fm. where a couple of the chatters are having themselves a little spat at the moment. And you can, of course, talk about things in there. If you don't like what's going on one channel, there's several other channels that are open and available to you, and they're all for free. Speaking of free, our website loaded with features, archives going back for more than a decade, and the webcam and everything. It's all there. It's all free. It's not behind a paywall. Just go and enjoy over at freetalklive.com. Once again, that is freetalklive.com. And if you like the show, you like what we do here on Free Talk Live, then you can go to amp.freetalklive.com to amp the show. AMP stands for Advertise, Market, and Promote. It's $5 a month. That's money that we can invest into Free Talk Live so we can get on more radio stations around the country and bring new internet listeners on board, exposing new people to the ideas of freedom. It's Ian, Johnny Ray, and Daryl in the studio here tonight. So again, please join the AMP program. It's $5 a month. Major credit cards accepted. The PayPal is an option. Also, Bitcoin Core. Go to amp.freetalklive.com. As we go to Skype, where the Jordan Austin Talk Show is on the line with us here. Hello, Jordan Austin Talk Show.
Hey, how are y'all tonight?
Hey, what's you're calling from Georgia. What's on your mind tonight?
Well, earlier today I was on a Skype call with some of my friends from, outside of Skype, and we were just having a really deep conversation, and so I had the, audacity to ask them, is government inherently evil? And I actually got some really good responses on that, and so I wanted to see what y'all had to say about that. Is government inherently evil?
Is government inherently evil, Johnny Ray?
Yes, because it's non-consensual. You have to. Everything's got to be consensual. If somebody's taking your money and you're against it, and that's the case with virtually every taxpayer, that's evil.
I got to agree with that. Yeah, absolutely. What do you think, Jordan Austin?
In some ways I do believe so, but in some ways I think it is actually a good thing.
Why? What's good about threatening people with violence if they don't do what you say?
Well, that depends on certain types of governments. You have certain types of governments, though.
The ends justify the means.
Well, they're all the same. I mean, they're all backed by violence.
True. I will say that's true.
Yeah. Actually. So, it's not okay, right? It's not okay for me to go and put a gun in to your head and demand your wallet.
True.
And it wouldn't be okay if I found 10 of my neighbors who agreed that we should all put a gun to your head and take your wallet. Like if I get other people on board with the idea of robbing you, that doesn't make it okay, right?
Right.
And so if I got 51% of the people on board, that also wouldn't make it okay, would it?
No, it would not.
Right. So I mean, that's really what it's all based on. That's really, when you boil it down, whether it's a beautician license or whatever the government program is, there's always men with guns who are going to come and do something nasty and violent to you if you don't do whatever it is that another group of strangers calling themselves the state legislature or the city council has demanded that you do. And many of these people you've probably never even met in your entire life. They don't know you, but they're victimizing you, and they're using your money to do whatever they want to do, like, enrich their friends and punish their enemies. What government does anything differently?
Right. And then if you don't mind, I have one last question before I actually have to go, because I'm going to be doing my own talk shows here soon. Right. So I asked them also this: is government the antithesis of liberty?
I would say yes, unless you are talking about a kind of government that is formed by consent, on the 100% consent of the people who have agreed to be governed by that structure. So let's say a homeowners association where everybody has agreed to the rules and they have signed an agreement to go in and be a part of this governance structure. But the governments as we know them today, the coercive violent monopolies, aren't structured that way.
I would say that there are a lot of things that are antithetical to liberty, and government is one of them.
Yeah, I'd say it is because government, in my opinion, government for me is defined by its having a monopoly on violence, and that's a core part of your being is your own security from somebody punching you in the nose, and government is by definition is allowed to do that to you. All they have to do is come up with a good explanation for it.
Jordan, thank you for your call tonight, man. Appreciate the questions. Appreciate hearing from you. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom.
And I would say that your
assertion that homeowners associations are completely voluntary forms of governance.
Not for the children that are born within them.
Or the children that are living there when because the children aren't signing that agreement.
That's true. Yep, that's true.
But they're forced to abide by whatever the rules are.
I agree with you there. There's no doubt about it. It was the best example I could come up with off the top of my head. I'm sure there are other ones, private organizations with governance structures that everybody agrees to in order to join.
I would say like the Rotary Club.
There you go.
Some kind of gardening club, the running clubs that I'm members of.
Yeah, somebody's a president. They have elections or whatever.
Yeah, those things completely voluntary where you
can
read the rules and you can leave. Yeah, there's one where $25 is a lifetime membership. I could rescind it at any time.
And when I say you can leave, I mean you can exit the organization. You don't have to leave the town. You don't have to leave the physical area to leave that club.
There are 4 other running clubs in Keene that I could join.
Really? All right, that's good to know. The toll-free number here if you want to join us, 855-450-FREE. Let me
try one more time. Government is the antithesis of liberty because all of your liberties stem from your ownership of yourself. And if a government can come and scoop you up and throw you in jail,
you don't own yourself.
Then you don't own yourself and you are not free.
In the same way that if anybody came and scooped you up, because even though the government has a monopoly on violence, as you said, it has the legal monopoly on violence, because obviously it doesn't necessarily mean that some other thug couldn't come and hold you up or kidnap you or something like that.
Right, because it does happen.
But when the other thugs do it, nobody looks at that as legitimate. But when the government does it, then they have all these euphemisms for it, like, oh, well, you weren't kidnapped, you were arrested. So they have all these, oh, that's not extortion, it's taxes.
Yeah, we were talking about the courts earlier, and there's 2 explanations in my mind for the existence of the court system, the third branch of government. One is the explanation we're all given, is that it was incorporated in order to limit the other head on the body that it is a part of, that it exists
to check and balance,
to stop itself from exercising the full limits of its power.
How's that been going?
Well, it doesn't work. The other explanation for the courts is that it's there in order to make people feel okay about the tyranny that they live under. In order for the government to say, no, we've got this here, and this limits us.
Yeah.
But the purpose, it's just there to rubber stamp and to make people feel good or feel better about what they can see is unjust.
Right, because anybody who's actually tried to use the courts to get justice, you know the truth. But for people who've just been taught that in the government schools, of course, about how the courts are out there to put a check on the legislature and to put a check on the executives, and that's just this pie-in-the-sky concept that if you've actually had no experience in court, you may still believe. If you don't know yourself how bad it is, how ineffective the court system is, how difficult it is to traverse, if you don't hire one of their people, the attorneys, you won't get anywhere with the court system. And, of course, it's expensive, so only the people who have the most resources are able to actually muster, the assistance that they need in this court system and even have a chance at possibly winning whatever case they bring. So it's super frustrating. There's more coming up here. We've got plenty of time to get you in if you want to jump on the lines with us here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. We still have a little bit to go in economics in one lesson. I'm hoping we can get to the final part of the chapter about saving, which is an important chapter. It's not a very long portion of the chapter, so I think we can do it. Coming up here in moments, 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's our toll-free number, 855-450-3733. Moments remain. Enough time for you. If you join us now, also on Skype at Skype username LRN.FM, or jump in the Discord at discord.lrn.fm. This is Free Talk Live's Live Sunday edition.
Live from the Verticoin studio, this is the call to freedom. It's the Crypto Hour, brought to you by Helium 47 here on LRN.FM. When you hear the faucet, be caller 5 to get some free coins. This is the call to freedom.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $9.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees, ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that 1/10 of a calorie it takes to click on something. Facebook.freetalklive.com. Radio is the most personal of mediums. I exist right now in your head. If you listen to Free Talk Live regularly, you know me. Free Talk Live is on more than 160 radio stations around the U.S. and has been downloaded on every continent around the world. Hundreds of thousands of listeners with ad packages from $600 a month to $6,000 a month. Imagine what we can do for your business, project, website, or idea. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live, dial toll free, bring up what you want. Our number is 855-450 free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And we have Skype at Skype username LRN.FM. The Discord chat is available to you as well. Discord.lrn.fm. There is a call-in line there that allows you to get on the air with us and talk about anything you want. It's Ian in the studio with you,
Johnny Ray,
and Daryl.
And let's go back to your calls and thoughts, but I do want to make sure that you know about MyPillow. It is a great product. I use it. Daryl uses it.
It's the best pillow.
It is a great pillow, and you may believe that it is the best pillow. If you don't think so, though, you can actually send it back in if you don't like it for some reason within a 60-day time frame once you receive it, and the company will send you your purchase price back because they stand behind their product. It is a pillow that is designed to fit to the shape of your body and hold your neck in the proper position. It's also designed to be washable, and you can put it in the dryer. So it is really an amazing product, and it works. Go to MyPillow.com, use code FTL to get your MyPillow at half off. That's code FTL, like Free Talk Live, over at MyPillow.com. And if you do keep your MyPillow, then you can feel good because it's backed by a 10-year warranty. Let's go to the phones, to the fun, to the Discord on-air call-in line where Oopsie Daisy is calling in from Canada. You're on Free Talk Live.
Hi, how are you guys doing?
Hey, what's on your mind tonight?
So we have Ricky, as you know, in my Skype call, and he goes on and on and on. And sometimes he's the Death Star and kills the call and yada, yada. Anyway, he gets mad at me when we have to kick him out, and he calls me a communist. And I've asked him to...
He called you that on the air tonight when he called in. He called you a communist.
I missed that. I missed it. I didn't hear it yet. Okay, so I've asked him to explain to me what he means by that, and he can't or he won't. I'm just curious if you could take a guess. What does he mean by that? Why is that bad?
We can't understand a word Ricky says most of the time, so it's hard for us to be able to, kind of extrapolate any kind of meaning from. Sometimes he's more coherent than others, but most of the time he's pretty incoherent, so I don't know what he meant by that.
Let me ask this question. Hold on. Okay. There are questions that can be answered to determine if one is a communist. Do you believe in the reappropriation of wealth?
The forced
reappropriation? The reason he says it is because I live in Toronto, and he's right. I do have a little bit of a Toronto mind when it comes to politics. And I'm in Canada. We're a socialist country, so I can't say no to that. I can't. I'd be lying if I did. I guess I do a little bit, yeah.
Okay, so you do support the forced redistribution,
like taxation. Yeah, you're going with taxation, right?
Yeah, yes. So that's what. That doesn't necessarily make you a communist, but it does make you a supporter of the government.
Makes me a dirty Canadian.
Communism is ownership of the means of production, correct? And socialism is control of the means of production. And those two are functionally the same thing, because if you control something, you basically own it. If I control the comings and goings in this studio and everything that happens in this studio, do I own it? If I can kick you out on the street?
Yeah, there's a strong argument for that.
And taxation and all of these various facets of government are just some version of government control of the means of production.
Yeah, but you can be a fascist and support government control of things, right? Like you don't just because you support the government.
Says it's to be pointed out that protectionism, socialism, and communism are basically the same plant in 3 different stages of growth. All that can be said is that legal plunder is more visible in communism because it completes plunder, and in protectionism, which is his term for fascism because fascism didn't exist as a term until World War II. In protectionism, because the plunder is limited to specific groups and industries. Thus, it follows that of the 3 systems, socialism is the vaguest, the most indecisive, and consequently the most sincere stage of development.
There you go.
So he's not wrong then. When he calls me a communist, I have to accept.
But he may be as much of a communist as you are. That's the thing. Like Ricky, he supports the government.
He's definitely a collectivist.
Yeah, I mean, he supported the government. He wanted to vote for Hillary Clinton back in.
Oh God, yes, that's right. We've had that argument. I've called her Hillary, and he got upset with me and yelled at me.
Yeah. So really, I mean, the question is, which one of you is more communist than the other? I don't know if we've been able to figure that out yet.
Well, that we'll have to determine at a later date, I suppose.
Thanks for the call tonight, Oopsie Daisy. The toll-free number here, she's in our Discord chat over at discord.lrn.fm as we continue here, 855 450 free like freedom. We go to Bad Slave. He's on Skype. Go ahead, Bad Slave.
Okay.
Yes,
I'm on?
You're on the radio.
Oh, all right. Well, you made me listen to the whole thing, and it's delayed, so I'm screwed up. But I'm back online here. Listen, Mike, the woman with the beauty salon, thinking it's wonderful to regulate. All regulation, of any kind that is actually, required is wrong. People ought to be able to conduct commerce in unlimitedly, right?
You're absolutely right.
Right. I offer a service and ask for payment, and I have an agreement with the person that's doing that, and that ought to be able to go on in any case. But the way to deal with certification, if you're dealing with a complicated thing and you want to actually produce a certified producer of that product or service, then what you do is you create the entity that will verify that.
Right, and the very same people who are on the boards of regulation could very well be, in the absence of regulation, they could have a certification board that they decide we're going to go ahead and we've been in this business for whatever the business is for a long time.
Oh, you mean like Underwriters Laboratory?
Like that, yes.
Sure, another good example.
And beyond that, it needs to be not a monopoly.
Well, right.
I mean, it needs to be something that anybody can start up and create the, regulatory and marketing and whatever you need to produce that agency. And you should be able to go and have an agency that will compete against
another one. To very at least have the potential for an agency to pop up in competition and offer competition to you, because otherwise you might get stale as far as like they're not updating their
like the Bar Association or the AMA. I mean, these are two monopolized.
No one's allowed to compete with those organizations. Is what you're saying.
And I think that we could pass laws in New Hampshire to start that. Begin that.
We got a ways to go. We're going to need to see more thousands of libertarians move here first. I think we are still on the very beginning of this liberty migration. I thank you for the call tonight, Bad Slave. The liberty migration, the freedom migration of libertarians, voluntarists, people who care about freedom coming here to New Hampshire. You go to 101reasonsfilm.com. You can learn a lot more about that. Let's jump into the very end here of the chapter on saving. Johnny Ray, we've been reading Economics in One Lesson off the air and talking about it on the air. This is part 4 of a 4-part chapter on saving, and this comes back to the discussion we had had before about, is saving the same as investment? Because this whole portion of the chapter is all about capital goods and sort of the mythology that some people believe that there's a limit to capital goods, and capital goods being like equipment that you would buy for a business, right?
Right. He's talking about capital, and I'm confused. The ending of this chapter confuses me. He's talking about an argument that I'm really not familiar with, that there is an overabundance of capital and it can't be absorbed, and take it. It's on you.
He basically says that the idea that there could be a limit to capital is false, because there's always something new that needs to be made. There's always some new upgrade. There's always some new technology. There's always some new better level of production that we can achieve. And the more capital that is invested into by businesses, the more their production ability becomes, the lower the costs of production become. That means you can pass on savings on production to your customers, which means that your customers keep more money at the end of the month so they can do more with that, whether that be investing to their own business or whatever.
So is he arguing that businesses should not have profit, that everything should wind up being returned back into the business?
No, that's not what he's saying at all. He's saying there are certain mythologies out there that say that there's a limit to capital expansion, but he's saying there is no limit to it because there's always a new level of achievement.
Quantitative or qualitative progress.
Right. No matter how good things are now, they'll keep getting better if people keep investing into their businesses. That's it in a nutshell. We'll continue with more Economics in One Lesson next week. Meantime, see us online at freetalklive.com.
Good morning. Later this afternoon, I will be engaging in an extramarital affair. Of course, I will wish that I had never made the horrible mistake I'm about to spend several hours making, but sadly, I'm currently too blinded by greed and lust to care about or consider the consequences of my actions. The liaison I will be taking part in shortly with 2 poor deaf teenage runaways is in direct opposition to the values you elected me to uphold. I also wish to apologize to my wife, Linda. To my two beautiful children, Allison and Christopher, it hurts me more than you will ever know that this scandal will impact your life so terribly. I can only pray that the revelations you will soon hear concerning my fetishes, physical flexibility, and penis will not scar you to the point of dementia. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to get to the hotel immediately, so I will not be taking questions. Thank you.
This is the Onion News Network.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Nestle Pure Life Water, helping you drink better and live better by providing a zero-calorie alternative to sugary drinks. Visit us at nestle-purelife.us. When kids are playing, they often don't want to stop to keep hydrated, so send them out with a bottle of water and encourage them to take frequent drink breaks, or call them inside for a quick sip. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
Hey, I'm LRN.FM Program Director Ian Freeman. If you're listening to our free-to-air satellite feed in North or Central America, heads up! We've been on the same channel on the Galaxy 19 satellite since 2010, but now our satellite provider is moving us to a new channel on a different transponder. The original channel will stay on the air until the end of February to give you time to transition without any loss of service. So don't delay. I've posted the new channel details at sat.lrn.fm, but in case you're listening with no internet access, if you do a blind scan on your receiver, you should see the new channel at transponder 12, 11,936 megahertz, horizontal polarization, symbol rate 20,000, FEC 3/4. All that information is at sat.lrn.fm, as well as a link to our Patreon where you can support our channels for just $2 a month. Visit sat.lrn.fm for more information about our international satellite channels, and thanks for listening to LRN.FM.
The 3 most important things you can do for LRN.FM are: 1. Let your friends know you're listening to LRN.FM on your social networking profile. 2. Buy the things you buy online through shop.lrn.fm. 3. Give $5 a month to the AMP program at amp.lrn.fm. It's my firm belief that the AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented groups. Support all your favorite organizations, but make sure you give $5 a month to the AMP program at amp.lrn.fm. Hi, this is Mark Edge of Free Talk Live. Michael W. Dean's book, User's Manual for the Human Experience, changed my life. In a culture that attempts to turn you into a compliant victim, this book gives you implementable steps on everything from how to be aware of your environment, walking down the street, to business, to how to handle a toxic person in your life. If you're a human, you need to read this book at least once. Go to Amazon and get the Kindle version, or paperback, or an audiobook of A User's Manual for the Human Experience.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm. The latest episode of Penn Sunday School is next, here on the Liberty Radio Network at lrn.fm. Download it and listen to more at pennsundayschool.com.
Welcome to Penn Sunday School, starring Penn Jillette. My name is Michael Godot, and we are broadcasting from the Show Creator Studios here in Las Vegas. This week, Penn is talking with our big boss, the podcast king of the world, Mr. Adam Carolla. This is their live show, The Adam Carolla Show, recorded at Caesar's Palace. Here he is preaching love, Mr. Penn Jillette.
So I was backstage at the Adam Carolla thing. There was all sorts of beverages of all kinds. Backstage with a cigar bar outside Cleopatra's Lounge. And I went on with, you'll notice during this recording that sometimes things I say are inappropriate. because I can't hear. The monitors were set up weird. And even though he was right next to me, I couldn't hear some of the stuff Adam said. But we have a good time, and this is Adam Carolla and Penn Jillette talking. We talk a little bit about the man with hair that looks like cotton candy made of piss. So here I'll have Adam Carolla take over. Take it, Adam.
Thanks for coming out live. I'm Adam Carolla. That's Penn Jillette over here, everybody. Magician, waif model, contortionist, Penn Jillette, everyone. And Gina Grad over here. Bald Brian as well. By the way, Penn, first off, Penn and Teller, they're doing a live show. I don't know if you've heard. It's the longest running headlining show in Vegas history. Yes? Wow. Saturday through Wednesday at the Rio. Tickets at pennandteller.com, and also the TV show Penn and Teller Fool Us. All right, I got a lot to talk about my buddy Penn Jillette, including his 100-pound-plus weight loss and all the crazy secrets around it and how exciting it is. First, I experienced this today. I want to share it with you before I forgot about it. I have a long list of guys I can't hang out with. This is a guy who says his wife is his best friend. Guy who says his dog thinks it's a person. You know, that guy. I can't hang out with that guy.
Did the list get longer after the drive here?
Yes.
No. Did the
list
expand?
The three guys in the
Okay.
RV. I saw this guy at the gym today. Guy who works out in jeans.
Ooh.
I don't know why it's quietly so creepy. I see people work. I work construction my whole life. I see people work in jeans. I've seen them work in jeans, shirt tucked in, belt snugged up tight.
It sounds like a rookie move or a rookie mistake.
I don't know. This guy was a pro.
Do you know what he knew what he was doing?
He had big guns.
Yeah.
Of course he did.
Now, what happens? Are you just driving along the boulevard and you pass a gym on your way to work and just slide in and start ripping off some curls? Like, what is it? But I decided, and I don't know why. Sweatpants, no problem. Shorts, cargo shorts, anything of that nature. Working out in pants is weird to me.
Yeah, like a workout tearaway pants is one thing, but jeans, like actual pants you'd wear out into the world?
Tearaway pants are one thing. You're okay with the tearaway pants?
Well,
yeah.
I like that's the first thing that popped into your head. Tearaway pants. Don't be bad-mouthing tearaway pants, Adam.
They're like Kevin
Jesus.
Durant's
I
tearaway
think about
pants.
tearaway pants a lot. You should pull them right off like this. They look really good.
If you've been to as many bachelorette parties as
Yeah, he's
we
a
have.
stand-in at Magic Mike down the strip.
You work out your way, I'll work out mine.
Okay.
All right, so I'm adding a guy who works out in jeans and or dungarees to my list of guys I cannot hang out with. But guys I can hang out with, Penn Jillette. Penn has lost over 100 pounds, and I was reading up on you on the way in.
But more importantly, it's 2 years and a few months since I lost the
Right.
And 2 years is the magic time because that's when people start putting it on. That's
Right, that's when you gain it
fat
back.
again. Yeah.
So first,
so that's the real important thing. Losing it's easier than going 2 years without putting it back.
well, the first thing I was reading is that it was a potato-based diet.
Well, yes and no. I can tell you the details.
Yeah, I
if you
want to
like.
know the details.
Okay. What you want to do is you want to reset the way you think about food, right?
Mm-hmm.
And one of the ways to do that is to do what's called a mono diet, which means just eating the same thing.
Oh, I thought you just contracted mono.
Yeah, exactly.
The weight just, you miss a few weeks of school, the weight all comes off.
All off. And you can use anything you want for that. You could use, you can't use chocolate bars, but you could use rice, or you could use beans.
You just
like that.
pick a thing, potatoes, rice, beans, so you go
And
solely with that.
I chose potatoes because they're funny.
Right.
The funniest thing.
I
And
agree.
I wanted the funniest thing. And then when I say you can choose anything, you have to eat the whole plant. You can't do anything to modify that potato. So don't be thinking French fries.
No.
None of
No,
that
but you
work.
eat the core, the husk, the tusk, the farmer, everything.
Yeah, potatoes don't have tusks.
Oh,
yes.
yeah, I don't know. I'm not a farmer.
Essentially, that's
Right.
the idea. And so I did that for 2 weeks. And it's remarkable because the amount of salt and fat I used to eat was astonishing. And after 3 days of eating nothing but potatoes, which, by the way, you cannot do more than 800 calories a day of potatoes. You just can't do it. They're so low calorie. A lot of protein. All your amino acids are all in the potato. You're okay.
When we say all of the potato, what do we mean here?
Well, I mean you don't peel it,
right?
And you also don't do anything that takes away most of the liquid. So you
Right.
can't chop it up and microwave it.
Right.
But you could boil it and you can bake it.
Right.
And
So you went all
I believe
potato.
that may be the end of the list.
Right.
And you do that, and it's remarkable what happens to your body because all of a sudden you see all the ads for how much we're getting bombarded by ads for food. You also realize how much of it is social. You know,
Right.
we're backstage about to come on, and there's whole plates of food.
Right.
Who the fuck is hungry?
I don't know.
I mean, you know what I mean? You go to a meeting in LA at 10:30 a.m. At 10:30 a.m. you go to a meeting and there's a plate of fruit, there's bagels, there's cream cheese, there's muffins, which is
Right.
just another word for cake,
Right.
all just laid out there. And I'm wondering at 10:30 in the morning, who's showing up at a business meeting going, haven't eaten in 3 days.
Yeah,
Really
I don't
nice.
know. It's weird. It's weird that adults, like when I have meetings with other 45 and 50-year-old adults, they show up as standard practice with a box of donuts. Sure. And that's at 4 in the afternoon. And they have like sprinkles and smiley faces and doodaddles, and some are like whistles and stuff. And
Yeah.
it's weird because we're not 9.
After two weeks.
But hold on, I do the thing. This is scientifically proven. This is how I keep the pounds off. I don't eat the whole donut. I break it in half, and I eat half of it, and then 12 minutes later, I come back and break the half in half, and I eat that, and then 7 minutes after that, I eat what's left of that, and then 1/2 of another donut, but I do it incrementally.
Absolutely.
Yeah, in moderation.
Right.
You have time for your body to adjust.
I have 7 donuts, but I do it in these marginal little pieces that my body never knows what hit it.
No, never knows what hit
Right.
it. And then after 2 weeks of that, you've lost, and I don't like to use the word addiction because it doesn't mean anything, but habituation. You're so used to eating tremendous amounts of salt and tremendous amounts of fat that after 2 weeks I had an ear of corn, plain corn, and it was like the saltiest, sweetest thing I'd ever had. You kind of reset that. You also reset yourself psychologically, and you then you can kind of build where you want to be. And I ended up, I wrote a whole book called Presto about the weight loss, but the whole book could all be summed up in 2 words, which is whole plants. But whole plants, people need to hear more about that. No animal products, no refined grains, extremely low salt, sugar, and fat.
We're in Vegas, douche. You're freaking everybody out. Some guy's just ordered half a deep-fried cow with a donut shoved up its ass, and he's going for it. So,
I just downed an entire Caesar salad in front of Penn backstage.
so now you're working your way back up from the mono thing.
Yeah,
Again, it don't get stuck on the potato. Could be beans, could be rice, could be anything. Just one thing. Now you're working your way back
And also
in.
one thing totally out of schedule. You don't want to ever eat it with other people or meal times or anything, just when you really feel like you want to eat something. And you learn what hunger is. Hunger does not happen in your stomach, that grumbling. It's not headaches. It's a feeling right in your throat. When you really feel it, for me, it was a brand new thing.
Right.
I never felt real hunger.
So were you always a big dude your entire life?
Yeah, well, I'm 6'7" to start with. When I graduated high school, I was probably considered skinny, but only the skinny from being young. And then right after that, I started putting weight on. I was just an American. I mean, that's all you have to say is American.
Right.